Oh, really? Oh, jeez. Trying to hang up something real quick. Like, oh no, my do that. Okay. All right. Camera on. Now I've got light. Oh no. Um, okay, so okay, that's fine. Hello world. Haha. Oh, my camera's not showing. Yeah, yeah. No worries. Yeah. Yeah. Okay, there's one. And there's creator, collab setup. Uh, well, snow boat. Hmm. Oh, and I can't hear you. You're muffled.
Um, I was like barely talking. I wasn't
Oh,
necessarily talking loud. What is it fine now?
yeah. Now you sound very close to the mic.
Oh, let me turn my volume down then a little. How about now? Can everybody on the stream hear me? And how's the volume? Man, I cannot get my camera to be.
Yeah, they can hear you now.
Yeah, I see. I got the chat up, so awesome. Okay, I swear it's like every stream there has to be something wrong at the start. But we're not alone. It happened with Blaze the other day too on Sunday. So I swear it's not just us.
Oh,
Now I wonder, can I edit a scene while I have a scene active? Probably not, because at 10 when we post the video, I was gonna have that run and like turn off you and I.
oh,
Um, so
maybe.
yeah,
Can you hear me okay, or should I put my headset on?
I hear you fine, but I had to put a headset on anyways because remember you would get echo and if I didn't, so it worked out that my mic wasn't working at first for the
For
stream.
sure.
So yeah, but
Okay. So
Ricky and
should
I were just talking about something in the primer, which
we?
we wanted to get exported and sent out today with the launch, but uh, technology, my laptop is not going to be able to handle that.
You don't want to melt your laptop over there.
Yeah, if I tried to do that, it would probably like crash the stream and shut down and yeah, so okay. Well, let me share my screen to you, Ricky,
Sure.
because um hey Peter, thank you for joining the stream.
Put
Um,
you
we
over
will be
here.
launching soon. We were just gonna hop in here and chat with folks before launch. That way we're ready for we're not like a couple minutes late for launch and the launch party is already going, stuff like that. So Ricky, you want to read this and see if you think we should add anything?
Oh, sorry. Just watching so many things.
Yeah, no
And
worries.
first 40 hours I get 1 minute. Yeah, no, that looks good.
Okay, and then this is pretty much the rest of it. Didn't have much else, so
Yeah, looks great.
and I think from there we can just have that, and then I'll add our logo and be done.
Hmm.
So yeah, I can't see chat right now. I don't know if there's folks still
There
talking or asking us anything.
will there be no background music? Um, no, I don't think we have any background music for the launch.
I can play ours, but I don't know if I'll be able to set it to repeat.
Yeah.
I'll try.
Well, we're going to watch our video first, right? So,
Yeah, yeah. So at 10 o'clock, right on launch, we're gonna play our main video for our Backerkit campaign, and then wonder what time zone this is in it. Okay.
do you want to link the in that thing that you're about to send out, the backer kit video?
No, because they'll see it on the page when they go to the page.
Roger.
We don't really want to divert people away from that right now, I don't think.
There.
So that should go out at 10 a.m. in 5 minutes. Man, 5 minutes. I'm like in disbelief right now that we are 5 minutes away from launch.
Finally here.
It's crazy. I'll put on some music after the video blaze. I'll try to get that figured out right now, actually, so that we're not waiting come time.
Okay. And then the last thing was the video
Oh,
embedded
there we
link.
go. I can't have it repeat. I'll just need to make sure the volume's not too high. Okay.
Yeah,
How's
the only
that
other.
audio on the music?
Uh, yeah, I can hear it on there, but it sounds like we are pretty quiet. Yeah. Yeah, so if you lower it like 20-30%.
Yes. Hello, Frank and/or Charles. Okay, music's loud. Is the music still loud?
It hasn't caught up to us yet. Hello, Frank and/or Charles. Is it still loud?
When you say you are quiet, is that Ricky or me?
Uh, Both of us are quiet compared to the music.
That's weird. Both. Okay, let me turn up my audio on Ricky then.
Is that Ricky or
Okay, Ricky, talk.
Hi, my name is Ricky Rivera, and I am so
You
excited to launch our Backerkit today.
you might need to put your headset on. It's just like I turned your volume up by like 30% and it didn't change much.
Roger that. Ricky talk. Hi, my name is Ricky Rivera, and I am so excited.
Music is still loud. This is crazy. I have it like so low. I barely hear it because it's coming through in my audio. But it looks like it, yeah, it just restarted. Cool. So that'll be
Okay.
working.
You should be hearing me from my microphone now.
Oh yeah, I hear you
Your mic?
better now. So we'll just see
Okay.
if everybody else does. I normally keep volume kind of low on stuff, so.
Yeah.
Frank today, awesome. Okay, are we feeling like this is much better volume settings here?
Boots and cats, boots and cats, boots and cats. The Backerkit video, the embedded link. I want to put that in the in there. Remember we were saying it wouldn't let you do it
Oh no, I
until
fixed it.
You did? Cool.
Yep, it's on there. I just need to make the video go live at the right time, so.
Okay, roger that. We are 1 minute away.
And you somehow disappeared. There you are, back. Okay. I think I remember the problem. Yeah. I like can't have anything else full screen for some reason when we are streaming. Because then it hides you. Okay, I'm gonna post the video right now so it's there. And then,
Nice.
yeah, okay.
7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
10 o'clock.
It is launch.
We are live. Let's see what happens. I don't know if the scheduled post. I just don't want to like duplicate here.
Okay, our Backerkit page is live.
Okay. Let me see what happens when I try to look at it now. Oh, we got one backer. First backer's here already.
Yes.
Thank you. I'm curious if that's Drafty. He was telling me he wanted to be the very first backer. Oh, hey Sam. Thanks for joining. Oh, Scream. No. We're live.
We're live.
Oh yeah, Drafty was #1. Awesome, awesome. Okay, real quick, we're a minute late here, but I'm going to play the video real quick on here, so you guys won't hear me, and I'm gonna make it so you can't hear Ricky anymore.
That's
And then we'll
okay.
be back in like 5 minutes. Um, hang on. Sorry, guys.
We got 2 people.
Shoot. Hang on. I'm almost there.
Very good. Checking the ads.
Okay, I'm gonna mute.
Okay.
We are Odynski Gaming, and this is Indominant, a new, revolutionary superhero tabletop role-playing game where you define what it means to be a super. It all starts with the Super's Information Codex, what we call the SIC, our Player's Handbook. This is your guide to saving the day, with over 250 pages packed full of everything you need to learn the rules and create your own custom super. 5 archetypes, 10 power sets, 5 origins, 5 species types, and 7 callings. And that's just the beginning. Pick your archetype, your playstyle on the battlefield, from the mighty in-your-face bruiser, the support healing specialist arbiter, to the glass cannon burn-it-all-down blaster. No archetype plays the same, and each creates a unique combination with every chosen power set. Speaking of powers, do you want to be the master of fire and ice, bend the minds of foes with psionics, or even wield futuristic gadgets? Each power set has their own inherent effect that sets them apart from the rest and makes them feel unique and fun to play. As your super becomes even more powerful and levels up, you can choose one of several talents, and each power set and archetype combination offers 30 unique talents. This means that every fire blaster is special in every campaign you run, and you can even have multiple party members with the same exact power set and archetype combo, but play completely differently, all based on talent selection. With over 1,500 talents, 480 preset powers, 100 costume upgrades, as well as your very own custom signature power, your super is truly unique. So what makes the Indominant system unique? Indominant is our very own system built from the ground up to make you feel like a true hero. It uses a familiar D20 roll high resolution mechanic supported by several special mechanics that support the feeling of being a superhero. New TTRPG players and veterans alike will find that the rules are simple and easy to learn, but have a lot of tactical depth in combat that rewards teamwork. With our hybrid action economy, you'll have complete control over your every move, every turn. Coordinate with your superpower team on the battlefield, fueling your powers with unique drive mechanic for each archetype, and push beyond your own limits with momentous actions. You can even create your own unique signature powers using our easy but customizable power creation system. But this game isn't just about combat. Indominant has special mechanics where using your super skills for problem solving gives you experience as you practice them, allowing you to level up your skills so you can go from 0 to hero no matter where your skills start at. So what's the game plan for this backer kit? We're planning to start fulfilling physical rewards in June of 2026, but this doesn't mean that you won't be playing the game long before that. With our already released game system primer, our quick start guide, and the playtest packets coming out after the campaign fulfill. we will be releasing 3 playtest packets for all backers, each with more and more levels of gameplay available to play through up to the final PDF being finished. We are excited to get your feedback along the way to make the best superhero TTRPG possible. Do you play on virtual tabletops? Well, we have some awesome news for you. With the gracious help of one of our amazing community members, we already have our system in Foundry VTT for you to playtest and run games from levels 1 through 5 right now absolutely free. What's happening after the campaign fulfills? With the fulfillment of the SIC and all gracious funding from you, we at Odynski Gaming will be launching a crowdfunding campaign for the remaining 2 core rulebooks, the Comic Editor's Compendium, Indominant's Game Master Book, and the Threat Index, which has many monsters, mobsters, and mayhem found all throughout the Indominant universe. More books, more missions, and a whole lot of great content all comes from your help bringing our dream to life, and we owe it to all of your amazing support. Indominant, become a super, save the universe.
Okay, and we're back. Let me just unmute Ricky. Okay. Whoa,
Hello.
your
Hello,
volume
hello,
somehow
hello.
jumped to 200% for me.
Whoa, that's way too loud.
Okay, so we're back. Yes. Awesome. Number 6, number 8. Wow. Thank you, everybody. Yeah. Let's see. Let me catch up on chat. I couldn't read the chat on my computer because of how I hadn't set it up to just like show a specific thing. But yeah, awesome. Thank you, everybody. Let's see where we're at. Let me, I guess what I should do here is open up the page. Dude, look at that. I'm showing 320 already. 11 backers. That's awesome.
Nice.
Super, super cool. Let me, oops. Oh my gosh. Dude, Windows 11 is kind of annoying. I'm still learning all the changes. I've held off on the updates, but my laptop automatically updated. Lord Magikarp, this book doesn't have any GM rules or advice, but we will be releasing with the playtest packets a supplementary document that has everything you'd need, and then we also have our primer. The game system
Yeah.
primer is like our quick start guide. It goes up to level 5, and that has everything that you need to be a comic editor as well. So,
Yeah.
and then, like I said, we're still going to have a more like a compact document that's just that stuff. And so that will be coming out along with our first playtest packet too. It'll be like semi-formatted. It won't be official like book kind of PDF, but it will
Right.
definitely be a useful tool.
Yeah, so you'll be able to play and enjoy the campaign and so on, and be able to run and maybe even run multiple sessions with it as well, just fine. So definitely you won't be without resources.
Yes, absolutely. We don't want to leave it folks with. Um, we did not want to
Yeah.
leave folks with no tools to run the game. So, oh, you said you posted in Peter's server. You posted the backer kit or the stream?
I posted the stream.
Oh,
Want me to
okay.
post the Backerkit?
Yeah. Okay. Let me add a screen cap here so that we can get the. Um,
14 backers. Woo woo.
yeah. Dude, this
Thank
is
you, everyone.
crazy to think it's like real.
Yeah.
It's finally here. Is
Hmm.
that the right page? Yes. Oh, mine's always going to show as kind of a. Hang on, folks. Let me make sure I've got it. There we go. That should work pretty well. So now we can see our current backer count on the stream. Wow, 15. We're already at $500. That's awesome. Let me pause that
Nice.
video. Yeah, so pretty much Ricky and I think we've got a few ideas for what we're going to do here. But other than that, we're going to be answering questions. I think I'm not able to quickly check with Colby and Bob, but I was thinking we could play their segments. I don't want to, like, I mean, I guess we're not going
Take
to
care.
steal all their viewers or something, but just conceptually, like I don't like doing things that, even if it may not be bad because of the
Right.
situation, I don't like doing that kind of stuff because in practice. Yeah, the printable power card stretch goal is really fun and exciting. I have a little layout I made, and so we'll put them on pages where you can print and cut them out.
Yeah.
They'll have like a nice little backside, so I'll have it set up so that it prints double-sided, and you can um, you have like a nice little pretty back side of it, and then you'll have all the information on the front side.
Hmm.
So ideally, eventually we would have like, pre-printed packs and you would buy it.
Yeah.
But we also like having stuff that's just free and accessible for people as well. We want to be very pro customer. We appreciate all of our support um, from all of our backers and everybody, and we just like giving back what we can. So
Yeah.
yeah, awesome. Look at that, 17. Keep climbing.
We have the quick reference guide too. It's like just a double page, double-sided single paper with all the statuses, a bunch of the actions on it. So that's really useful too.
Yeah. That's a really nice tool as well. And I think I have that on the page here. Let's see. I might not. Because I have a few documents for people to. Oh, how do I? Come on, close that pop-up. Oh. No, I don't. But we take them to the
Hmm.
Discord and stuff. So yeah.
Yeah. Oh, our gotta update our website. It still says follow the
Oh yeah.
backer kit. Yeah, let
Oh
me
boy.
grab that real quick.
There's
I
a
mean, it'll
lot
still
going on.
take you to it.
Yeah,
Yeah, there's a
yeah.
lot to update.
Oh yeah. Well, and there's been some crazy life circumstances for us both going. So, like, I'm working
Yeah,
off of a old laptop right now because I'm traveling for work. Uh,
yeah,
Ricky's working on buying a house and had
yeah.
some other stuff going on. So,
Life is busy, and I'm excited for this. This dream come true to finally be able to launch it. Let me see.
absolutely.
Edit site. There it is. Let's see what we got. 18.
Okay. I'm posting here, and then oh, nice. Thank you, Sam. Appreciate it. Or Flail Snail. I'll call you. Appreciate it. Really appreciate all the support. Oh boy, that Frank, you've always got good questions, you and Charles. What have we enjoyed the most during the process leading up to the backer kit? Hmm. It's definitely been a lot of stress, but as far as enjoyment, I mean, just spreading the word, and I always like talking about the game, but
Yeah,
um, interacting with people and getting to know them as I'm like sharing the game. And I try to be pretty genuine. Like I'm not always just joining servers to just share the game or something, but um, there's that line you got to ride of like sharing your stuff, but not just being what do they call that? Like not just shilling your own stuff everywhere.
Yeah, yeah. You don't just chill. You're adding value to the community,
Yeah,
right?
yeah,
You're like, you know, even just now we're like in different discords posting about it, but long been adding to the conversations there and having fun in there and making friends and stuff. So that's so valuable, so important. Yeah, I'm trying to drop some quick images into our website real quick, and then I'm happy
yeah.
to.
I need to get the right link for this because I'm sharing in some servers here.
Yeah.
Frank was voted most inquisitive in fourth grade. That's great. And then Ricky and I here, we're both kind of doing some, management stuff, but then we're gonna kind of hop in and do a couple things, be a bit more active, like do some fun stuff, because I have some polls that we were running that I wanted to see what the results were on the stream, and then if I think we're gonna watch some of the content creators' videos, or at least portions of their videos, because we don't want to try to steal their views. So
Yeah.
we got some stuff planned. I think maybe another good one would be like um, a live poll, or maybe creating a character live with folks on stream, something like that would be fun as well.
Mm-hmm.
So I am
Yeah, I think
just
that'd be
about
great.
done.
Cool. All right. Slap chopped a photo in here and made us live on our actual website.
Awesome, awesome.
But it works.
Yes. Okay, now let me read Greg's message here. With the GM device and enemies book coming later, how much guidance and supplemental materials should we expect for people who want to run the game as soon as they receive the PDFs? You will have everything you need, absolutely everything. I think we might even have the guide for creating threats. Don't quote me on that one.
Yeah.
Don't hold me to that. But
I think there's a bit of like that you can do a little bit of it,
yeah.
at least like early level stuff,
Mhm.
just to help out.
Yeah, because we're still
Um,
going to be kind of like refining that for presentation and like having it be a clear explanation
yeah.
as intended. But and advice, not device. No worries. But yeah, I mean, we will absolutely, even in the primer, if you download the primer and see, you've got everything you need there, and the kind of exported document that we will post for the comic editor, kind of, I don't know what we'll call it, but we'll just call it like a little comic editor primer or something.
Yeah.
It will absolutely have everything you need for sure. We've got some extra rules. It'll explain everything about the threats so that you understand how to build encounters, things like that. And some advice even for how to run superhero games, because I know superhero games aren't the most common or popular, so they're different than a fantasy game. You don't just run the exact same uh, kind of formula, if you will. So
Yeah, yeah. Like we want it to be fun, be able to drop in some things. I think even Peter Tales from Elsewhere, he like customized some threats already, which was just awesome to see. But that is actually at the root of Indominant, that you can customize things. You can say, okay, well, instead of him throwing lightning, he's throwing, ice, and he's
mhm,
still doing the same amount of damage or whatever it is. So there's
yeah,
still a bunch of that.
I think what I might do here is have this window. Should I shrink this window down to just show the backer count and stuff? The backer
Sure.
count in dollars?
Yeah, sure. That'd be good.
I can make it a little bigger too. There we go.
Hmm.
Yeah. Awesome. Thank you, Drafty. Really appreciate it. And you're number one. So thank you very much. Can't thank everybody so enough for. We already got 22 backers here, so that's wonderful. And I'm a little bit behind on chat here, but Peter, yeah, or Tales from Elsewhere. We really love the kind of golden age retro style art cover. That one is very exciting for us.
Yeah.
We just had a blast even coming up with the idea. We thought it'd be really fun to have it be the same kind of layout and everything, right? But also different enough, that it's special and unique. It's not just like a copy paste of the same thing. But yeah.
We got a good recommendation to link the primer and the and any additional stuff on the campaigns page. It looks like it's not there. And that could
We
just go
do.
to our website.
I have it linked in there. It's just there's a lot of info on the Backerkit page. It's
Yeah.
let me show where it's at. Or I showed earlier, but if you scroll,
Mm-hmm.
so let's see. It is right before pledge levels. That'll take you directly to Drive-Thru RPG to download it. It's a pay what you want. I hope, and we can maybe fix this here now, but I hope that it doesn't require the pay what you want on Drive-Thru RPG a minimum of $1, because that wouldn't be paying what you want. That would be paying at least $1.
True.
Oops. But it makes it, at least when I've looked at it, it makes it look like you have to spend $1 at least, which is not our intent there. It's supposed to be free. Oh, you know what? I wonder. I'm trying to think if there's a way I can actually like do stuff on Discord, but because I can't do anything on Discord on my computer while we're streaming the way I have it set up. But that's okay. We'll focus on the people here, and then I think you've been working on stuff in the background too, right? So yeah, I mean, maybe what we should do here is go through, since we've got people following the stream, and they are looking at sorry, there we go. We can share the information about each pledge level, is what I was thinking. Just kind of talk through them. So I guess I can open up that page again so we can see more. Yeah, so let's do that. I think that sounds like a good idea.
Yeah, let's do it.
Oh, is it really 1 per minute? Oh yeah, we're right about 1 per minute. Holy cow, that's awesome.
Nice.
This is like Unreal feeling, because we've had like the primer up for sale before, and so this is the most really we've made in this short of a time by a long shot. So. And can everybody in stream still hear the music, and all of our volume is all good to go? Hopefully.
I don't hear the music on the stream at all.
It might just be really quiet. It's at that quiet intro part. I'll turn up a tiny bit though.
Oh, I do hear it now. Yeah,
okay.
You're right.
Oh, and Heather told me she just posted on our Facebook and everything.
Nice.
So thank you very much, Heather. I'm sure she's watching right now. So, okay. Yeah, I think my window's capturing enough.
There you go.
Okay, so we'll go ahead and start here with the first tier. So our first pledge level is the digital hero. Oh, backer 25. Thank you, Oliver. Thank you, everybody. Seriously.
Yes.
Oh,
I
did we
was
just hit
talking-
1,000? Oh, wow.
I think we did.
Wow, that's awesome. Broke 1,000. Sweet.
Boom, boom, boom.
So the digital hero is pretty much our digital pack. You get the playtest access and all of the stretch goals, because none of our stretch goals are like add-ons that you have to spend more money to get. They're all just free for everybody who backs, and then of course we'll have the PDF.
Yeah, and this is just to get you in, get you going in the game, And we realize obviously there's a lot of just digital folks, right? Maybe they already have a giant library. They don't want to have another book there. So
Yeah,
just a
yeah.
quick PDF.
And I wonder how many are left. I want to check on my end how many are left of. So, oh wow, there's already been 11 people backed and got the early bird PDF. So,
Nice.
the digital hero does have, they had 50 spots for people to get the PDF at a discount, $5 off pretty much. So,
Mhm.
and then we also have that for the superhero and the deluxe hero packs, or tiers, if you will. So then that'll take us to the next tier, which is the superhero tier. And that is going to be your physical, pretty much just a physical upgrade to the digital hero. So you'll get a physical book. Your PDF just comes for free with that. And then again, you still get all playtest access and all stretch goals. Every backer gets playtest access and all the stretch goals. So I won't keep repeating that.
There you go. At Oliver, there is a optional rule for multi-power sets. It allow you to do a combo of 2. So if you're thinking of Fire and Ice, you could actually do that in our system. So it's kind of fun. You basically pick up the talent and the power selection for that level. So every level you select one or the other. And you mix and match. You can even min and max, I should say. So.
Yeah. Yeah, and a note, I don't know if we have it. We don't have any comments on the page about our optional rules, but the SIC will have optional rules for multi-power sets. It won't necessarily be, at least the way we want to approach it, it will not just be like free, you can kind of take like a level in any power set kind of thing. It's going to be where you pre-select, or maybe like something happens in your story and you add a second power set to your character, something like that. But you would just choose 2 power sets, and you would just get to open up yourself to both options. But the weakness is that like your inherent effects from, let's say, fire wouldn't affect your ice powers. That's how we're planning to do it. And so it makes you have a broader uh, set of options, but less power per se. And then especially with your talents, especially with some of the higher tier talents or the more interesting talents, when you select them, it'll only affect one power set. So you'll be spreading out your power into more types of options, but like I said, have a lower power ceiling, if you will. So yeah. Yeah, awesome. Peter got a deluxe edition. He's kind of gotten to see. We actually didn't announce the deluxe cover until the launch, but he's had a little bit of an inside look, and he's been waiting for that one. And I appreciate him not sharing what it was with anybody. So,
Yeah. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you very much, everybody. And then, yeah, teleportation is one that we definitely are going to add. Storm is a bit broad for how we approach power sets, because it's like lightning, ice, and wind. It's kind of a lot of things all at once. And so for our version of Storm, you could do either lightning or electricity manipulation, sorry, and then we'll be expanding our power set options down the road. And so there might be some other stuff like wind manipulation or water that could also fit that kind of theme as well. And then you could mix those with a multi-power set character to get like, the stereotypical Storm type of character, Storm the X-Men character.
Yeah.
Yeah, Peter loves the classic style, so. Yeah, and then I guess since just bringing up the collector's edition, that's what the deluxe hero tier is for. That brings the super different and retro style cover, and the book itself will be a bit different, and it has a ribbon inside as well. Oh, hey, Drago. But yeah, same thing again. You get your hardcover, just swaps to the collector's edition, and then you'll still get all the other rewards. And then you want to talk about this one, Ricky?
Yeah. So yeah, with the sorry, you're on the collector's edition one? I'm still seeing the stream.
Oh no, I'm on
live.
Super Team.
Oh, so the super team. So what we wanted for it is that we wanted to be able to have like a package where here's somebody who really wants to share the game with their crew, with their team, and they wanted to be able to give each and every one of them their own individual book, right? And maybe keep the digital version of it. So this is that, right? That super team. The our game can play from 2 people up to 6 players, and still feel very comfortable even with 6 at the table, but the ideal number is 4 players, right? 4 supers. So this was just a quick pack to have those hardcover there, still have all the playtest access, get access to all the stretch goals and everything, and then when you put it all together, we put a discount on it as well, so it makes it a little bit cheaper too when you bundle. So
yeah, absolutely. You get all the PDFs for free, and the way we're doing PDFs and playtest access is, you get a digital copy. It's not intended to be shared. We know people are going to share, and that's fine, but that's why we do the packs with extra PDFs so that, we're just tossing them in there for free to make sure nobody is doing something they might be uncomfortable with if they don't want to share something they're not intended to.
yeah.
So yeah. Drago, to answer your question. Oh yeah, sorry, I just saw Frank's comment about their signature powers. Yeah, definitely go check out the What is Tabletop One Shot, because they did get to use signature powers, which will be coming in the first playtest packet. The first playtest pack is going to be level 6 to 10, and level 6 is when you get access to your signature power, and you get to customize it completely. We have a little system that makes it just a step-by-step process, and you pretty much create your own. Well, not pretty much. You do create your own power. So it costs more drive and it costs more action points, but it's very strong. So, and then Drago, to answer your question, this is just for the SIC. The next campaign, we're hoping that we get enough momentum here that we can just do one more campaign, and that will be for the Comic Editor's Compendium and the Threat Index. And so we'd also offer the Supers Information Codex in there as well.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, because this will just boost us up to be able to get all the artwork and all the design elements ready for the other books. So, but that's why when someone was asking earlier about being able to have enough, resources as a comic editor to run the game, that we have it all. We have those available, and we're going to be doing that in the playtest. But those actual books, the Comic Editor Compendium and Threat Index, are just that large summation of all of it put together, all the way up to level 20. So yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. And just for us knowing, we know our capabilities right now, and we just would be taking on too much risk to be able to promise all 3 books in the first campaign. And we don't want to make that sort of mistake where we kind of put ourselves dead in the water, and then we might not be able to produce any books, or people gave us money for books that we can't produce for years to come, maybe, like 3 years or something. So
Yeah.
we don't want to do that. If people are pledging to get a book, we want to make sure that we can deliver on that. So,
32 backers. Whoop whoop.
oh yeah, yeah. I have another tab
1200,
here. I keep swapping back to. Wow,
1270.
awesome. Yeah,
Thank
super
you,
super awesome. It's
everyone.
like doesn't even feel real for me yet. So,
Yeah.
Oliver said, as long as I can create my heroine, Lady Adelind Habersham, time traveler from Regency Britain, studied needlecraft, etiquette, dark mysticism, and combat in Tibet. Interesting. You'd have to. I wonder, are her powers time travel, or does she have different powers? Because that would be cool to see. Um,
Yeah.
Speaking of time travel, we'll jump back to this here in a second, but right here, this character, Ricky, you want to talk about this character since it's your personal creation?
Yeah. Are you? Sorry, I'm like watching you live.
I
So that's
scrolled
where I'm
up to the section where we're showing
hmm
what's his name, Sir Aldrich. So
Oh yes. Okay. So Aldrich, it's just a dream, fun like character to make, and so. Sir Aldrich actually, he's a knight. He actually is probably almost 700 years old, in our fiction and whatnot, because he actually was serving on the Crusades, and he was actually going out there and he was pursuing a warlock, that was cursing the lands, right? Him and his group of knights. So he was pursuing him. Finally cornered that warlock, and that warlock cast a curse on him and his friends, and sent him 600 years into the future, where we are in present time in Indominant universe. And then he ended up in that time travel, being pushed forward, losing his sword, losing his shield, his armor's getting deteriorated. He lands in the middle of Pulse City, which is kind of like our New York, if you will. And he gets up and he sees like the city is being invaded by like robots and whatnot, and he's so confused. But all of a sudden, his sword and shield reconfigures with a massive amount of energy and light, just through his like utmost belief, right? And so there's a bit of time travel there, in that element, that being pushed so far in the future. But now he's gone and he's joined the GLU. He's pursuing this warlock who he's got some clues about. He's not sure exactly who it is, and I won't say anything here. But essentially, he's trying to pursue that and find his friends at the same rate. So really fun stuff. I've always played as paladins and/or knights in any kind of like other RPG games. So I wanted somebody to represent that, and that was Sir Aldrich, the knight here. So yeah, he's a light manipulation guardian in our game.
yeah, I think this character does a really good job illustrating like how you can use a power set like light energy, but he's got a sword and shield, right? Obviously, he
Mm-hmm.
projects light and things like that, but it doesn't necessarily have to just be somebody who like shoots light out of their hands or something. I
Yeah.
think there was somebody in our Discord who created a character that used, I think they were doing electricity or light manipulation, one of them, and they were doing it through guns, kind of like the character from League of Legends named Lucian. So there's just
Mm-hmm.
so many ways you can do it. It doesn't have to be very straightforward, and I think this character is a good job of showing that as an example.
Yeah. Yeah.
So good job, Ricky.
Thank you. Thank
And he had been
you.
wanting to get art of that character for months, I swear. Which
Like
I don't
so
blame him.
long.
We've got art of all of our characters. Like, we came up with all of these characters, so we just love seeing art of them as well. Um, and then before we continue on to the backer tier or the pledge tiers, just want to answer some of the questions here. So Frank asked, how hard was it to come up with the names for all the different pledge levels? I feel like that's the kind of stuff I have the most difficulty with. Ricky, how many times did we change them? Maybe like 10.
Yeah. Yeah.
Something crazy like that.
Tons of
We changed
times.
them a
Yeah.
lot.
Mm-hmm.
Because you want to have like a balance of like fun thematic names, but we also don't want to like pick a name for the digital hero for example, that like makes you feel bad for choosing that. We don't like those kinds of business practices of like, you know, we try to stay away from FOMO. Obviously, we like want excitement and we want people to be excited to buy our products, but we don't want to like, you know, call this the version of peasant or something. Like,
Yeah. Yeah.
that would be horrible. So, you know,
Yeah.
you want
Because
to
everybody's
balance
a hero.
those. Yeah, you want to like start with something cool and then just increase it from there. We don't want to like push down the people who back a digital hero just because every dollar of support is so appreciated. Honestly, like I need to actually look here again. I haven't looked for a minute. Wow, we're already at 35 backers and we got over $2,000 already. So, holy cow, that's awesome. Yeah, I literally like can't. I'm like starting to tear up a little bit. I can't express how much I appreciate the support from everybody. So this is something I've been
Seriously,
working
man.
on for 5 years. Ricky's been working with me. What, for three? You joined the team 3 years
3.
ago, I think.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, and
Been
so
wild, man.
yeah, for both of us, honestly, like this has just been such an endeavor full of work and love and stuff. So
Yeah. And it's a game we want to play. I talked
mhm,
about that in our last live stream. It's like it's a game that we want to enjoy and we want to share, and just being
mhm.
able to share it now has just been just a dream come true.
Yeah, yeah, getting to this point has been something we've been so happy
Yeah.
for. So, yeah,
Yeah.
and then Greg asked, the primer has some information on the games world. Are you planning uh, on more being in the SIC, or would it be coming in the later books? We have a section in the SIC devoted to lore. It's kind of one of our appendices. Um, and yeah, it's going to have a lot more lore about the world. Some of that lore we've posted in previous blogs, dev blogs, but we are still working on transferring those to our new website, so you can't find them anymore, crazy enough. But yeah, we have a lot of lore, you know, much bigger expansions on the lore for all of the different species that are in the book, how we got to this point, like the history and things like that. So that will definitely be expanded upon in the SIC, and then even more in every book, really, because like the threat index, for example, there's a bunch of different groups of threats that you can face, and so there's lore on every one of those, like the Bolter Thugs and the Blood Syndicate, tons of info on all of them. So every book's going to have its fair share of lore for sure. And then Drago, thank you very much for backing. Definitely want to say thank you. You've been around very early. You were one of the very first playtesters. So Drago's been with us for like 2.5 years, I think.
Yeah. Yeah. Thank you,
So.
Drago. Seriously, appreciate it, man. Screw it, we ball. So funny. That's great. Thank you.
And then Mace, thank you for watching and your support. Everybody, thank you. And yeah, Peter, thank you. Yeah, you ran a great game out of the primer, and it's hard for us to really judge like if the primer's enough because we have all the other info, right? And so it definitely helps kind of like affirm that the primer has enough for you to run a really great session, and even more than one, like a lot more than one. We have some preset scenarios in there, um, and just yeah, it's good to know that it's enough to make it so you can run the game. Okay, and Oliver explained information about Lady Adelind. She has a time travel device. Okay, and her powers are psionics with the cost her sanity, super strength, and endurance. Yeah, I think you definitely would be able to make, well, not even I think, I know. So,
Yeah.
you know, with the base rules, you could only choose either psionics or super strength. And then endurance can be represented by, like if you were a bruiser or a guardian for your archetype, that would be a really great way to represent like superhero endurance, because both of them are very durable and tough, those
Yeah.
archetypes. So absolutely, you could be a bruiser with psionics or super strength. Like the way I kind of would think about it is, sounds like maybe she's kind of a, you know, a bruiser type character, like a brawler. So you could use psionics as your power set, bruiser as your archetype, and then you could just thematically change some of your psionics powers to be super strength. And then obviously with the SIC and the optional rule, you would be able to have both. So there's that. Oh, changed your tier, Drago. What did he say?
He put it up on his. He's gonna leave it on his stream as he's going to work.
Awesome. Yeah, I think Tales from Elsewhere, Peter. I just did see one of the two sponsorships that we did is up, and I think the other might also be up as well. So I think we'll kind of finish. You guys are being lovely and chatting with us, so we're getting distracted a lot, which is totally fine with us. But once
That's what
we
we're here
finish
for.
going, exactly. Once we finish going over the tiers, the pledge levels, we'll go ahead and play their ad spots, and then, please, when you guys can, I know if people know who D&D Deep Dive or D4 Network Colby is, we sponsored a video of his that just came out this morning, and his videos are long, so definitely it's a good one to watch, or listen to in the background while you're working or driving, things like that. And he has a sponsored spot for us. So
yeah.
And then the other one, let me see if the other one's out.
I don't think so. Yeah, I think maybe it'll come out later in the day.
Yeah, I think he told me he's been posting on Tuesdays now. He normally posts on Wednesdays. So we'll save that for when his is posted. But yeah.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I guess I've given away some information. Some super sleuths might be able to figure it out now. But here, I'm gonna drink some water. I'll mute myself on stream so you guys don't have to hear me slurp water.
Meanwhile, I'm just downing my McDonald's frappe. But yeah, really excited for as well the researcher and architect tier level. Maybe while Zarek's going there, I'll talk a little bit about the researcher pledge tier level. So essentially at this level, this would be someone who, wants to actually even try to give some kind of ideas for particular actual some of the powers as well. So what's really cool with this is that you can actually create a actual power. A lot of the powers in the game, we've obviously come up together, but we've used different references from around the world. I'm a big Rick and Morty fan. We're both great deep Dragon Ball Z fans, like different things like that. And you can see those little hints and nods to those different powers. So this is that opportunity where we can have you come in and actually provide that. Or on a particular power set, choosing a power set and archetype, you can choose and make a particular talent. Maybe that is, something that you're thinking that would be really cool for this combination of the two. So coming in and being able to make that's what we wanted this actual tier for. It's also the first tier where you have the one shot with us to be able to have with you. So we would actually run it, for you, and we'd have a couple other players as well that are at this tier, or they've paid for the one shot separately. But we would run it for you. We'll find a time that makes the most sense. I don't mind meeting super early for like European time and things like that, or super late as well, because we're both night owls. Anyways, but yeah, so that's the first tier that you can get a one shot in with us, guaranteed. Even if it's just one-on-one, we're going to figure it out so that way you can maximize and have the most fun together, and have multiple people and that kind of thing too. So yeah, so it's really, really exciting there. You also see our resource tracker. So this is a model as well, and I can actually show it. I'll show it on the camera for a minute.
Yeah, you printed it out.
Yeah, so this is about 6 inches long. I'm probably going to expand and make it a little bit bigger, but what it is, it's designed for you to very quickly and easily keep track of your actual drive and your action points. And there's a little slider here, and it'll go on both of them. But essentially, it's just a slider, so that way you can actually go ahead and keep track of those numbers physically, right, in person. Now, on our character sheets, you do have a slider, and there is a actual different um, uh, model here. Here it is. I was like trying to find it. So this is a slider that can go on your sheet of paper, your character sheet, I should say. And you can imagine it just going up and down the actual numbers of the paper as well. So this is just a different model. So that's where it was talking about some of these kind of things. But this one in particular is what comes with that tier to be able to print this at home on your own. Eventually, I'd love to mass produce these in like a hard plastic, so that way it lasts a lifetime, and that way you can have that as well. But this is just that first run of that, getting the model for this.
Yeah. Here, I'll pull up the character sheet real quick to show
Yeah.
where, and there's going to be a slight modification, something we actually haven't mentioned here yet. Is that on? Yes. Okay. Cool. It's being
Yeah.
shown. So if you go to your power pages, there's this drive meter on the side, and that clip that Ricky just showed, that little circle one with the pointer, that you can just slide along the side of this page to mark your drive. That way you're not like writing and erasing a bunch, things like that. And so, yeah. And then everybody who's backing right now in these first 48 hours actually gets that pointer STL for free, as well as a D20 for free.
Yeah.
We have a custom D20 that's got our logo, the Indominant logo, as the 20 side for your crits. So yeah, I really need to catch up on the chat
yeah,
here.
let's get in the chat. Yeah.
And
So
then thank you, Drago, as well. Really appreciate it. The architect here is gone. Somebody grabbed it.
Oh, no way.
Yes.
Really? Oh,
Mhm.
wow. Okay, we're gonna have to see who did that. That's awesome.
Yeah.
Let me just answer real quick. Yuri Sai, excuse me. So is the most of the lore or most of it space themed? It can be. So essentially, most of the campaigns and missions we played on are just on different planets themselves. So you can play, that you're on Earth, right, and it's being invaded by a bunch of, infectious parasites, or invaded by a bunch of evil robots, or whatever it is, or maybe you're stopping a robbery. It's whatever you'd kind of like as a comic editor when you're running the game. But you can absolutely go into space, because a lot of the different spacefaring species have connected obviously with humans, and the whole entire actual lore, you can connect anywhere throughout the actual universe as a result of it. So you can have not space battles, I don't want to say that, but you can be in a spaceship, and you're trying to help out somebody who's been invaded by whatever parasites inside the ship, right? Kind of like an aliens kind of thing, right? But you can do that, or you can do something where you're going from one spaceship into another one. You can play a group of either vigilantes who are looking for criminals, or you could be the criminals and be villains, and be that you're going in and you're going to different cities, or space bars and things like that. It's kind of up to you how space focused you want to be, or how grounded in based on a planet or whatever it is that you'd like to be. Just kind of up to you. But we are sci-fi for sure. We are future focused in the main lore, in main arc of it. So yeah.
Yeah, it's definitely a sci-fi superhero game. Really just for us, like, I don't know, the superhero media I grew up with, that's very like on brand, like Justice League Unlimited kind of stuff, where they're flying through space and there's a lot of stuff happening like that. I just feel it opens up the floor for, especially because the universe is on infinite. It means that you can create your own planet, and you're not like breaking the lore of the game in any way, because you just like completely terraformed Earth to be something else if it was Earthbound. And so yeah, like Ricky said, you can absolutely stay, and we've run many campaigns that stay earthbound, but we just wanted that door to be open, and then it's very sci-fi setting, it's futuristic, and so we just kind of we do show space a lot and talk about that, but
Yeah.
that's really
Yep.
a kind of a tool for you and your players to go elsewhere. Like, funny, I always joke when I say that word now because of Tales from Elsewhere, but it lets you go to other places, right? And so you can make your own planets and go to very alien worlds where, maybe like some kind of like horror, like what do they call it? Like Cthulhu type horror, stuff like that can exist. So yeah. And
Yeah.
Blaze, no worries that you're just listening. We appreciate you just listening and being here. We appreciate everybody here.
Yeah. Yuri, say you've had a follow up. Would you say the system is able to accommodate me if I wanted to run humans only, Earth only, or would you not recommend Indominant for that? So it's entirely up to you, right? You can say a group of friends were at a theater, and all of a sudden an explosion happens in the theater, and it's radioactive, and it grants all of those humans powers,
Isn't that
right? And
exactly what
yeah,
oh my gosh, what's their name? I know them as Double Take, but they've changed their name. Um,
yeah.
but I think that's the premise they kind of ran for theirs.
Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's totally fine. You could say you could even run it where, hey, it's like the 1980s or something, at the top of the pop culture kind of area, right? And again, it's kind of like you could run it for that kind of time as well. Ideally, the system allows you to move things around. It's not like you're locked into it at all. I guess you could say at your
Yeah.
table you can do really anything you'd like. So yeah, I would say
Yeah,
that.
it's easier to cut things out than it is to add them in. And so the way we
Yeah.
approach that is like we're giving you an entire universe to explore, and you can, cut things off for your setting or for your campaign. So you absolutely could have humans only, like not even the humanoid species, just Earthlings, like actual humans. Um,
Yeah,
so
exactly.
absolutely, yeah. And then, hey Jordan, how's it going? The stream's too distracting, Peter. No worries. Thank you for being here. I'm sure he's probably already gone, but I'll let him know. Um, so yeah, and then hey Twin Steel, Eldritch is what I was thinking about. Thank you. Like Eldritch horror, the being able to go to different planets a lot opens that up for you. So yeah. Um, okay. So I realized I just updated it. Anybody who's in the stream can now go check it out. But one of our polls, um, that poll was locked before we got any votes, so I just opened it back up. And that's
Oh,
if
okay.
people like the comic book panel style art that we have. It's the one of Heatsink where he's, he's exploding a bunch of Thrall monsters.
Yeah.
We showed off that art there, and he's the one on that art, and it's got that like a couple comic book panels, which was actually Milton's idea.
Nice.
We were trying to think of like a way to show that he's like absorbing heat to charge up his tech so that he could do a signature power, and
Hmm.
he came up with the idea like, oh, let's just make some comic book panels at the top and then put at the bottom like the main image. So Milton's
Yeah.
awesome. He doesn't just like take our ideas and just do them. He like puts input, and we give him some creative freedom because he's really creative and really great with all that kind of stuff. So much better than we are,
Yeah.
or me, at least
Yeah.
me.
No, me too. I can only do stick figures, so it's okay. It's a bunch of circles and O's and stuff, so that's it.
Yeah, yeah. So I think, did you finish explaining the researcher? Did you?
I think I did, yeah, all
Okay, you
the
got to the
elements of it.
okay. The key, yeah, the definitely special part of that one is that you get to create a power or talent. And since we're still playtesting all the content from level 6 to 20, that may be able to make it into that area depending on if it fits. And then also we'll have some expansion power sets coming out. Um, since the architect tier was already backed at, we will. I think we've talked about it when we may change our mind, and depends how big they're going to be. But I think our first expansion book now is going to come with 2 new power sets. One of those being the one that the architect backer creates with us or
Yeah.
co-creates, and then the other being the one that we've had planned. So yeah,
Oh,
um,
so awesome.
yeah, which is crazy. So definitely awesome. The architect, it's already been taken, and I don't know. We might, if I don't know, it would be hard to have a second one. Just
Yeah, it would
the
be hard.
scope, the scope of
I
a
was
power
thinking
set
it.
is a lot.
Yeah.
Um, and I guess we could push out the power set that we want to add, or we could have a caveat that like if we opened up a second architect that they, it would be bad to have one get to go before the other though. So I don't know.
Yeah.
We'll if it's really desired, then maybe we'll open up a second one. But that would be we'd have to be hard pressed to make that decision because
Yeah.
it's a lot for sure.
Right.
Yeah. And then Yuri asked that Power Origin gets mentioned briefly, but it's not explained. What effect does it have on a character? So the reason we don't explain it super deeply is because it's really mostly flavor. It does have a bit of a mechanical effect. You get the extra, you get a stat bonus. So like magic gives you +1 damage modifier. Technology does reduce your attack modifier by 1, but it gives you, or no, sorry, it reduces your damage modifier 1, but it gives you +1 attack modifier, which is a net boost. Um,
Yeah.
but really, it's mostly theme and flavor. So if I go back up to some of these characters, you can see from some of them pretty quickly what the differences are, right? This character that's got the electricity, you can't quite see it in this picture, but he has magical runes tattooed onto his arm. And so he uses magic. And the way you use magic can be up to you. This character specifically, he doesn't necessarily have super good magical ability naturally, and so the runes that have been tattooed onto his arms are what give him the ability to use his magic. And then this character, he was a human who got mutated, and so he's mutation. And we don't want to like pin that down to a very specific flavor or backstory because it's pretty much a backstory element because it's how you got your powers. And so we just
Yeah.
didn't want to restrict that so much that you don't have a lot of creativity or room for creativity there, especially with superheroes. There's so many different ways to get your powers, even within one of those like types. Like science could mean that there was a chemical science experiment done on you, or maybe like a chemical spill, or it could be an accident like for what happened to Hulk. Those are very different things, and so we want to leave it open for that. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. At the end of the day, the flavor is kind of like the big thing of it too. Yeah. I mean, there's mechanics obviously behind it, but you can say on magic, for instance, I have a magic companion, a magic cat that gives me powers, and it can disappear at will and gives me all the powers and all that, right? So,
Mhm.
so that's a fun thing about it. It's just kind of like saying, hey, this is where the source of it is, and you can build upon that.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, you made a point here that sounds like interesting interactions with the power sets. Then my powers come from mutation, and my powers are being a gadgeteer. Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
you definitely can do that. Yeah,
Yeah, I can picture that being like, because gadgeteer sounds very specific, but it's loose enough that for that sort of one is maybe that character, instead of throwing actual technological gadgets, their mutation allows them to like produce objects out of their body. Whether those objects are technological or not could be up to you. It could just be that they have the same mechanical effect, but it's like a organic object that you create and like is made out of organic matter and tissue or something like that, like a smoke bomb Instead of
Yeah.
being like a metal ball that releases smoke, it could be some like, you know, almost like a miniature organ that you produce and throw out that just releases out that smoke. So there's a lot of ways to do it. And then like magic is a good example I like to use for Gadgeteer. Is like instead of having technological gadgets, maybe you imbue items or objects with like magical runes, and that gives them that effect. So
Yeah.
yeah, that's where the room of the origin comes from. Yeah, and the Rick and Morty influences that absolutely.
Yep, we're big fans.
Yeah, there was a huge influence of Rick and Morty on the Gadgeteer power set. So that was Ricky's. Ricky made that power set. So
Fun.
yeah,
What's it gonna tell you? We're at 46 backers,
wow,
2,715.
awesome,
Gosh.
so awesome. Thank you very much, everybody. Yeah, so I think, well, I know. Well, I don't know where. Oh, there it is. So I don't know if we want to watch the videos now, or if we want to kind of save that for later, um, or if you want to take a look at the polls and see the answers that people have so
Yeah, let's look
far
at the
answered on the
polls.
polls. Okay.
Yeah, take a look at it.
Yeah, I know I guess we kind of skipped over the architect tier, but that pledge tier is where you get to create a power set working with us. So, and what that means of working with us is if you have an idea for like dark matter manipulation or something like that, then
Yeah.
we would work with you to kind of make sure the theme fits and make an inherent effect that really matches with that, and sort of like that identity, a mechanical identity as well with that. And then we would make the powers from there. We wouldn't be like approving all of the powers with the person, but we would make sure that like the powers fit the theme and things like that. And so it would definitely be an ongoing process of like, hey, we have this idea for this power. Like, what do you think about that? Does that fit in your mind? Stuff like that. So yeah. So this poll is, which archetype is your favorite in Indominant? And wow, nobody voted Hunter. There's 15 votes so far. It's not over yet, but nobody voted for the Hunter. The highest are the Guardian. Wow, surprising that it's Guardian. Can I see the exact results? I want to try to do the math in my head. Oh no, I just voted.
Yeah.
Well,
I just voted too. I did the
okay.
same thing as you.
My favorite is the Bruiser, so that's a legit vote. But yeah, so sad to see the Hunter be no votes because that's one of my favorites.
Right.
Oh, show some love for the Hunter. Yeah, you know what? Even though it's not quite my favorite, I don't want Hunter to be left down in the dust. And Drago, yeah, I know.
Yeah.
How are Guardians number one? Usually I mean, I'm not surprised. I like the Guardians too. But
Yeah.
Usually in playtesting and like the sessions we run, they're usually the last ones to be chosen. Like generally people want to play like Blaster, Arbiter, and Bruiser seem to be the most popular. And then
Right.
like in no particular order per se, because we haven't like tracked those stats. But then it's usually like Hunter and Guardians are kind of the last two, which does make me sad because I love the Guardians and the.
I think because they're on their own. They play that style that yes I can support, but yes I can hold my own.
Yeah.
And I can also deal a good amount of damage. So. It's always been, for me, that's why I always pick that kind of archetype / class. So, yeah.
Yeah. And then our next poll, so this one did end. I think it ended at, well, it's 11 my time. So it ended about 10 minutes ago. And this one is, what is your favorite superhero or type of superhero story? And, well, no surprise to me, but classic heroes, We got 40 votes on this one too, so a lot of votes.
Oh wow.
Classic heroes, icons of good that overcome hardship, and I'm happy about that result. That's my favorite personally.
Yeah.
So I'm kind of surprised though that light-hearted, campy, pulpy heroes is the lowest. Wow. I kind of would have thought like the immortal, godly beings of ever-increasing power would be the lowest. Um,
Hmm.
and I'm not too surprised by the modern heroes because that's very. Oh, hang on one second. That's very The Boys themed, right?
Yeah, exactly. So classic heroes, man. That's what got us all into, looking at heroes, right, in the first place.
Yeah, here, I'll be
Comic
right
books
back.
and stuff. Yeah, no worries. Yeah, I got my daughter a bunch of Batman comics, and she is loving them. She's wanting all the Batman action figures and Lego toys of Batman and all this stuff. So, but yeah, I that's how I got into old comics, right? Just getting into this old kind of style and so on.
Yeah. And then our first poll, which is one I just opened up, doesn't have any votes yet, so
There you go.
because it was locked before we had too many people. Wow, look at that. We're at 50 backers now. The backer train is still going. So
Bow, bow, bow.
hopefully the backer train goes on for several hours, but I think Ricky and I were thinking about streaming for at least 2 hours if the backer train ends.
Yeah.
And then if the backer train keeps going though, we'll be here. Oh, awesome. Thank you, Jordan, for getting the collector's edition. Yeah, the collector's is awesome. Oh, Ricky Drago's gonna tug at your heartstrings with this one. He's asking if you want his Batman comic from '93. That's actually really awesome.
Yeah. Yeah, I want it. We'll have to message how to get that.
Mhm.
Yeah.
The second sponsored video's up now.
Really? Okay, cool. Yeah, Jai, we'll talk offline on that. That'll be one that my kiddo cannot touch. We're gonna keep that safe.
Yeah. Here, before we watch the sponsored segments, let me use the restroom real quick. I'll be right back.
Okay. Yeah, no worries. Run.
Keep everyone entertained, please.
Right.
I know you will.
Absolutely.
I know you will. Just don't talk about Batman now that you're thinking about Batman.
I know. Now it's on my brain, right?
Yeah. Okay, I'll be right back.
Well, one thing that was fun is when I joined up with Zarek, I wanted to make Batman in the game, and we had weapon mastery as a power set, but we didn't have gadgetry as a power set. So I basically made a Batman-esque character, but I ended up switching him around and giving him a bow. So he ended up being more of like a Green Arrow instead of a Batman. Green Arrow's pretty cool too, super smart, talented guy as well, But yeah, it was just something really fun too. So, and I have the mini back here. I'll probably go off camera and maybe I'll grab it. But the first ever mini that I made for kind of the campaign. Let me see if I can find him. Yep, I see him. So, got this. Oh, and here's another fun one. Yeah. So sorry I went off camera right there for a second, but let me show you this. So this was the first ever mini I made for playing Indominant. And I know he looks green, but for some reason he didn't look green when I first painted him. He actually looked more black, so he was actually called Black Arrow, and this is actual arrow is actually black. But yeah, this was 3D printed. I don't know the artist who made the actual model. It wasn't me. But yeah, so I'm a big 3D printing person, and eventually want to be able to make minis for Indominant. So being able to have that. And then eventually I played a one-shot where I was Banana Man. So here is a banana guy. With a knife, so you can actually tell, he was kind of gonna be a guardian as well, melee focused, in your face, but Banana Man. So there's that. So just being silly, but yeah, to Elder Goblin, yeah, we're in Vegas. Zarek was originally based in Vegas, and he's moving away. He's going to be moving to other places. So, but yeah, so we were originally in Vegas,
Okay, I'm
and
back.
then let's see. Hi.
Sounds like you're talking about
Uh,
where we're at.
yeah, a little bit. I was showing them the first mini I made.
Oh,
That was inspired by Batman, but turned into Green Arrow.
yeah, Black Arrow.
Yeah, Black Arrow. There you
Yeah,
go.
that
Yep.
was the first character Ricky ever played.
Yup. So Blaze, you said idea for a funny power set. The meta basically fourth wall breaks like that fifth dimensional imp. That's so funny.
Yeah,
It
that would
always
be fun.
tortures. Yeah,
Absolutely, that
that's
would be very fun.
that would be fun. Yeah, and what's cool too is it could always be a part of how you use your powers. So I can imagine that being something like a psionic that
Yeah,
somehow always knows what's going on or whatnot,
right.
right?
Yeah, that could be a
And
fun
could
way to do that without that being a power set, but maybe that will be, who knows?
exactly.
Someday.
Yeah.
Oh, dude, Jorban's asking. Yeah, Jordan, we'll have to talk in Discord and see when your flight is, because I'm now in Texas, but I am traveling back to Vegas 1 month, or 1 week every month. Sorry, I almost said that backwards. So we'll have to try to see if that works out. At the very least, you'd be able to interview Ricky, but it'd
Yeah.
be cool if we could both be there for that.
Yeah.
Of course.
Yeah, we could figure it out. I just need some good timing.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay, so I think now we will show the two sponsored videos. Well, not the whole videos, like I was saying, um, but we'll show their segments. So, is that showing? Yes, it is. Okay, let me pause the music. So the first one we're going to watch here is Colby, D&D Deep Dive. I know I mentioned that he posted his video earlier here. Um, But yeah, we'll go ahead and watch his sponsored segment. Let me try
And
to
then maybe
skip
you want
to
to
where it
link.
happens.
You want to link it on the live.
Yeah, let me
Um,
link his video on the live stream right now.
yeah, please give Colby and all these YouTubers love. Watch their videos as well. But I'm sure if you're here, you've probably heard of them, seen them before. They're great. They're great folks. So.
Okay, there's the link for his video. And then I will, like I said, we'll just play their sponsored segments here. So I think.
Belong, and I am so glad you're here. So thanks for watching. My name is Colby. Right. So of all of the amazing changes we could have used, I know I'm kind of really awesome character. Maybe we should lay some groundwork. We're told writer
Trying to jump
and
to his
but wants like
sponsor
make it
segment.
better than the one team rule. Mounted. What space does?
Yeah, it's a
Am I
cool
in
one.
the
He made
middle,
like
there
a
on the grid, and I just occupy
joust
one. Do I
kind of
middle?
character
I
in this
somehow
video.
wish that years ago talking more of these things addressed in the official rules, but no worries. Thanks to nice Moody Blues callback there. The Winged Hussar.
There we go.
Is amazing. Even try and commission
Okay,
him to create some art for your character or even
I
your
think he's
entire
about
party.
to
I will
jump
put links
into
in the
his.
video description, as always, on how to do so. And before we dive into the build, I am thrilled, you guys, to tell you about Indominant today,
So,
a
all right, I'm
fantastic
muting you on
superhero
here, so
TTRPG from Odynski, the sponsor for today's video. You guys, if you're looking for a new tabletop game to try out, and especially if you're into superhero, comic book, fantasy, and gameplay, you are going to love Indominant. I do, and I know because I played it a few weeks ago in a one-shot with D&D Shorts, Will, right, Insight Check, and D&D Unoptimized in a game led by the CEO and lead developer of Indominant himself, Zarek Odynski. Get it? Odynski. That's fantastic wordplay right there, by the way. If you want to watch that game and see Indominant in action, then check it out right here. Anyways, I'm going to skip like the scripted press release stuff that they sent me and just tell you guys what I loved about this game. First up, it does a better job of fulfilling the I want to play a superhero fantasy than any other TTRPG I've ever played. And I've dabbled in a few. I love the versatility you get in character creation, from a variety of species you can play as to a bunch of different power sets you can choose from, combined with different archetypes that let you kind of build out your powers and abilities based on, if you want to be more of a tank or a striker or a speedster or a support focused character, etc. And those powers and abilities feel super flavorful and powerful, even as a low-leveled character. I was basically a monk in game, of course, a martial artist, robot, cyborg kind of character who was built to take a punch and protect their allies. And boy, did I take a lot of punches. It was awesome. The game was crunchy in just the right way, with a rule set that was pretty intuitive, and especially as a TTRPG veteran, it was super easy to jump into. I think I got like a 20 to 30 minute primer before the one shot and then just jumped in and started playing, no problem. I think my favorite thing about the mechanics of the game was the action economy. They use something similar to Pathfinder 2.0 in that everyone just has a set number of actions, right? But Indominant gives you 4 versus Pathfinder anyways 3, and I just felt a lot less restricted in like what I was able to do with those actions every turn. I rarely felt like I have to spend like all of my actions doing stuff I don't really want to do, leaving me with fewer actions to do the stuff I want to do. And I also was never penalized for wanting to do something more than once on my turn, which felt really nice. So, okay, here's the thing. The Indominant player's handbook equivalent, it's called the Super's Information Codex, launches on Backerkit today at the time of this video release. The art in this book is gorgeous. You've been seeing some clips of it here as I've been talking. It's got such a great classic comic book feel to it. And the time to back it is right now, because anyone who does in the first 48 hours of release at any level that you back it at, you'll actually get a couple of free goodies, including a limited edition Indominant D20. When you check them out, I'd appreciate it if you would use the link that I've put in the video description and the pinned comment as always, so they know I sent you. Thanks. Please go show these guys some love. They've made a fantastic product here, and I'm convinced that you will love it. So big thanks to Zarek and everyone over at Odynski. Good luck with the backer kit. I hope you've already blown past your funding goal. I bet you probably have. And I can't wait to get my hands on the book once it goes to print. All right.
This is the aircraft.
There we go. Okay. I can't hear you, just so you know, Ricky.
Yeah.
There we go. Yeah,
I
thank you
had-
very much to Colby for that one. Absolutely crushed it. And I believe everything he said. He had fun when he played. I got to play with him. It was a blast. And I don't want to spoil, because the one shot, we posted the one shot today, this morning, a bit before we launched. So today was kind of like a lot of stuff coming out all at once from us on our YouTube channel and everything. But yeah, just had a lot of fun, and he had some really cool moments, and definitely played his job as a guardian. So, and then yeah, thank you guys. Thank you, August, very much. You guys, I think it looks like, yeah, you did bring us over 3,000, and yeah, look at that. That's crazy. We got 57 backers, and the backer train's still going. So,
Over 3,000.
yeah, let me get
That's awesome.
the next one. And then, so we got 2 more that I know of. Well, we have a third one. What is tabletop? Frank and Charles had one. I think I'll have to see if they have theirs in a segment, because they actually did a whole one-shot video. I'm going to have to watch this video later.
Yeah. But
Oh, wow.
D4 has been so awesome with all of his build videos. I've always loved them.
Hmm.
I remember when I first got into D&D, I was watching a bunch of his early build videos just to figure out how does D&D even work. So yeah,
Yeah.
I'm a longtime fan of his.
Oh yeah, I had talked to him, and I told him, because I hadn't really thought about it in a while, but
Mhm.
I had been watching Colby's videos since I think I was only maybe 6 months after he started his channel, I started watching his videos, and I watched
Really?
like almost all of them for
Oh,
a
wow.
long time. So yeah, it was just like cool. Like when I went back and thought about it, I was like, wow, like for most of the time I'd been designing this game, I was watching his videos.
Gives you ideas, right?
Yeah.
That's
So,
awesome.
the next video we're gonna show here is Bob's. He actually made our game a huge chunk of his video, and I don't necessarily want to just like steal what he
They could
says
use
about our
it.
video because it's like a 5 minute segment on his video.
Yeah,
So while I do really want to show it, we'll have
I think just
to,
link it. Just
yeah,
link it.
we'll link it. I don't want to show off like a massive chunk of his video. Um, Obviously, he gets a lot of views, but I don't want to be one who's taking any of them. So,
Yeah, yeah.
and then we'll show Insight Check. He also has one, and I know he's got a little sponsored bit, so we'll watch his as well.
Oh, here, I'll link Bob's video in the stream here.
Oh, okay.
Please
I was
also.
already typing it out, and I have it almost
Oh,
ready. Sorry.
okay, go ahead. Go ahead, go ahead. No worries.
Oh, there's a link. Yeah,
There
and
you go.
then we get Insight Check. And I think we'll check what is tabletop as well to make sure that we show off theirs. I just, like I said, I don't know if they have a sponsored segment per se in their
Yeah,
video.
yeah, yeah.
How much could you save by switching?
Advertisements. I need to get.
I
Oh, I
can't
have
believe they're
YouTube
talking
Premium.
about our game. They're
Yeah,
talking about our games, Eric. This
it's
is just
crazy.
wild.
Yeah, it's absolutely crazy.
Like, what?
Yeah, hey Matt, thanks for hopping in. Oh, and before I press play, Drago, I don't know if it's comparable to some stuff that has been done in all of our early play tests, but I just don't want to spoil it. He just had some really great moments where like he got like a perfect blow and ended. I think he ended up like defeating most of the enemies. But yeah, Colby had some really cool moments for sure. Okay, so here is insight checks. Do you want to link that while I show it?
Sure.
Yeah. So I'll press play.
Was
Also,
sponsored by
like, playing
Indominant,
it in
the
the
new
background, so
superhero
get their,
TTRPG by
gotta get their views, you know, get their view count for them too.
Yeah, absolutely.
Uh,
Okay, I'm gonna press play here.
yeah, go
This
ahead.
video is sponsored by
Grab the video.
Indominant, the new superhero TTRPG by Odynski Gaming, which is live on Backerkit now. Indominant is an incredibly fun new system that was truly designed to enable deep character customization, incredible teamwork opportunities, and to feel tactically rewarding. With Indominant, you get to explore a vast and futuristic sci-fi setting that is filled to the brim with various superpowers, character origins, and backgrounds. With so many new ideas as well as exciting changes to some of the tried and true TTRPG ones, Indominant is sure to be a wonderful addition to your game nights. So go back Indominant on Backerkit now using my link in the description or the pinned comment below. Lair actions are gone! That's technically a lie. The design
Yeah. Yes. Yeah, it's like, yeah, 1.5 a minute, I think. So cool. Mhm. Yes. Nice. Awesome, awesome. Oh, looks like you're muted, Zarek.
Hello
On-
and
Yes, I was talking. Sorry.
Yeah.
Thank you guys. I was drinking water and forgot to unmute myself. Yeah, thank you, Marlene. I don't even remember what I said now, but it, I was just
How
saying,
could
yeah,
you, Zach?
like we're very. Oh, I was saying we hit 60 backers and 3,500.
Yeah.
You could hear me. That's why I kind of didn't realize.
Ah,
Yeah. So we're like 22% of the way there, I think.
we're
20,
we're professionals
23.
here, okay? We do professional things. We're pro YouTubers,
Yeah.
and all that. So,
Oh wait, now we've got an echo.
oh no,
What?
no, no echoes.
There shouldn't be an echo. Who's it coming from?
Yeah, is it me talking? Is it me talking that gives an echo, or no?
Yeah, I don't know. Is there still an echo? Hopefully not.
Yeah.
Oh, I do not hear an echo. Okay. Okay.
All right.
No echo. Cool.
Okay.
Greg, I wonder if maybe you accidentally pressed play on the stream on a second tab somehow. Something like that. That might be why.
Something, something.
Um, so let me see.
Oh
I
man,
don't
man,
think they
creating a
had.
creating a power set's gonna be so fun, man.
We haven't done that in a long time. We have not created like brand new powers and talents and stuff, or like a new inherent
Yeah,
effect in quite a while.
yeah. Like it's been a minute. Um,
Yeah.
but yeah, I hope it's like one that's really just you know fun. It can work with the system and so on. Because that's a big thing for the architect. We want it to obviously be within the universe, right? To make sense. So we
Yeah.
can't like rip a power set from like I don't know, one for one from some popular TV series or something, but we can be one that essentially is like close or creative in that regard. So yeah. Oh, is it? Oh, okay.
Yeah. Don't say it out loud. It's personal.
Yeah.
I don't want to necessarily. Oh,
Yeah.
he's kind of hinting at it, I guess. Drago, if you want to tell or if you want us to tell people, we can. But
Yeah. But yeah, it's gonna be super awesome. And then we have to mix in all of the talents per archetype.
mhm.
Um,
Oh
that's gonna
yeah,
be cool.
the
So
best, my favorite talents to make are always the inherent effect modifications. Those are the best, which
yeah.
you don't see a lot of in the primer. You only see them from the arbiters, actually.
Right.
Arbiters are the only ones that get them in the primer. So there's some super cool and exciting modifications to the inherent effects that the other archetypes get. Um,
Yeah.
yeah, I think in the first playtest packet, I think it's the Blaster and Bruiser that get theirs, or it might be like the Hunter and Bruiser or something like that.
Yeah.
Can't remember exactly.
Yeah. I'm so glad. Signature powers was a big move. It was something that Zarek definitely wanted to push on,
Hmm.
but I'm glad we went that route of making actual custom signature powers versus us telling you what your signature power is.
Yeah, that like we always
Uh,
loved the ideas of those powers. And so I think
yeah,
the big thing that held us up for a while from making custom signature powers was we were like, oh, that means we got to get rid of these ideas we made. And then we were smart and we were like, wait, we don't have to get rid of them.
hold
Like,
on a second. We
yeah, I
don't
was
have
like,
to.
wait.
We can recycle
Because
them.
especially the ultimate, which don't exist anymore. Um,
Yeah,
like
yeah.
we had some really fun and cool ideas for ultimate powers, and so um, yeah, we have found a way around getting rid of those ideas, and they will be pushed into some lower tiers, and then you
Yeah.
get your custom signature power. So
Yeah, like be rebalanced and everything too, but obviously still be a part of the game. So it'll be
yeah,
fun. We'll be able to merge some ideas and squish out ones that were like kind of like maybe weaker or whatnot, but now they can be the ultimate power and all that,
hmm,
So tier
yeah,
tier 10. Yeah.
absolutely.
So
Okay, let's see if What is Tabletop has a little intro here. I think maybe we'll just let them play their intro to their session, and then we're not going to watch a whole hour, but also we don't want to be playing their whole video or something like that. So, do you
Yeah.
mind? Did you post insight checks?
I'm pretty. No, I didn't. Oh my gosh.
Yeah, make sure we
Wait.
post his.
World Builder did that. There we go. And I'm posting it now. Check out.
Okay.
Video.
And yeah, Drago, to answer your question, no more ultimate powers. I know. So Drago has been with us. He was literally in our first public play test with, it was Drago, Sasha, Donnelly. Well, I don't know which session happened first because I think like a bunch of them played with multiple of us because it was Ricky, me, and Jared. We all ran sessions with groups. And so I don't remember like who was in the very first group or anything. But yeah, the very first round of playtesting was Drago, Donnelly, Sasha, several others. And so Drago got to see some of the high stuff too. That we were playtesting some high level stuff, and we had ultimate powers they are absolutely bonkers, so powerful. And so we're not just deleting them; we're keeping those power concepts, but we're bringing them down to the power level of a lower tier power, so they'll be pushed down into like tier 9 or 10, the signature and
Yeah.
ultimate power ideas that we had. And then
Yeah,
that's
because
getting replaced
ultimately,
with. Go ahead, yeah.
because ultimately they were so hyper focused that it was our idea for an ultimate power when really it should be your idea for it. And that's where by the time you're level 12, 15, 18, you have signature powers that have so many very cool variations and so on with the way that we want to build signature powers that it's going to be way better than even an ultimate was. And it'll be your own. It'll be your own signature move.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Trying to see if there's been any. We don't have like a FAQ up, but just trying to see if there's anybody asking some questions on our Backerkit page. So we jumped up to 64 now.
Nice.
Yeah, I left red. Yeah, we had a lot of people that play tested early on, which was really cool.
Yeah.
So, okay. And then do you mind grabbing the one for what is tabletop? And I'll press play here.
Welcome to us having a one-shot in Indominant. Woo!
No idea what we're doing.
If you're watching this, the Indominant RPG is now live on Kickstarter, and we are lucky enough to be able to play the Indominant RPG. So we're going to be doing that. We got so many people. Let's introduce them really quick. We got over here
Zachary Brooks. Zachary Gungerton.
You know who I am.
You're going to see a lot of face palming from me, but we'll have fun. So just a heads up, some of the rules we're playing with you can get on the primer that is available on DriveThruRPG. You can also go to the Discord for Odynski's Gaming, Indominant, get the primer that way. However, some of the rules we're playing with are also still in development, meaning we get some like cool stuff that hasn't been playtested yet, and we're going to break the heck out of it. Keep in mind some of the things we're using might not be the final product. Thank you again to Zarek and everybody over in Indominant for allowing us to playtest a little bit live on camera, and it's going to be fun. Everybody excited? Ready?
Yeah.
All right. Then let's go and get ready for Indominant.
There we go. Yeah, so they did an awesome one shot as well. I already watched it. They let us watch it early on, so. But yeah, they just had a lot of fun, and they always make me laugh.
Yeah, they're great folks. Got a chance to meet them.
Yeah, I'm jealous.
Yeah, just great dudes, like on and offline. You know what I mean? So really cool.
Absolutely.
Yeah. and so glad they're part of the community and so on. It was funny, backstory. I don't know if everyone knows. I basically reached out to them one time and didn't hear from them at all. And then I think I don't know if it was you, Zarek, but somebody had reached out between me or you again with them, and they're like, "Oh, that was you who reached out to us in the first time," and I was like,
Yeah,
so. But it's
yeah,
good.
that's
We've had
funny.
tons of conversations since, so.
Absolutely. Yeah. So there's still quite a bit of the early bird um, pledge tiers. Hopefully people, oh, there are some people who backed the regular one for each of those. I guess maybe they
Really?
didn't see them or they just wanted to support us more and leave them for other people. So either
Yeah.
way, it's very appreciated. Wow, there's only 5 left of the deluxe. So that means 10 people backed and got the deluxe already. 11 if we count somebody got the full price deluxe. So
Yeah. Solid.
awesome, awesome. And then,
Thank
oh,
you.
somebody
Thank
got a
you.
researcher. So we got one researcher so far.
What? Oh my God. That's so cool.
Yeah, that's so awesome. Oh, we're 24% funded. Now I can see it on a different page. Awesome. Okay. So with that, I think what's another activity here we want to jump into?
Let's see. We may want to talk about like that mission that we've done,
Yeah,
that everyone's going to be getting.
yeah,
Um, So we made any backer will get this, but we'll have a mission that comes with your backing that essentially allows you to allows you to go ahead and uh, basically like learn the rules of Indominant while you're playing. I don't want to give away too much, but there is a combat almost immediately. There's opportunities to test your skills out as well. Zarek and I went back and forth of like the hows and the whats and the who's, right? And that was really fun because we always want to make sure that any mission that we're trying to provide or share with you is just something that's fun that you can do. And it's designed for even a small group of 2 players all the way up to 6 players. So it doesn't matter. It'll scale up. It'll have threats in it as well, that are going to be a part of it. So that way you already have some, threats to use, and you're able to play and scale up when you need to. And then at the end, it has multiple endings. So it's up to you and how that your table plays. But being able to actually, play that mission out and seeing, okay, where do we want to take this from here? So it gives you a kind of story starter or campaign starter to go from there. So yeah, a bunch of ideas in there. It'll be out once the backer kit ends. We'll send that mission pack out. That way, folks can start playing with that. So yeah.
yeah, absolutely. All right, I brought the just the backer count up again
Nice. Almost
since
at
we're not showing
4K.
anything.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's crazy. So awesome. Cannot say thank you so enough. So it is absolutely appreciated everybody's support. Yeah, and it's only well Pacific time. It's only 9:44, right? So
Yeah. Yeah.
still early in the morning. Um, for me, it's already almost noon. But yeah, super awesome.
Yeah. No, you're going strong here. And I think between ads and everything rolling out here, they're going. By the way, I forgot to tell you earlier. Everything going on.
Okay, yeah, I was
Yeah.
trying to do some checking on the back end.
Yeah. So yeah, so that is gonna be phenomenal. I think we're just gonna roll right into our goals, man. And it's going awesome.
Yeah, absolutely. Okay. Let's see, what else can we do? How many folks do we have in the chat still? I wonder if it might be fun to make a character or something. Um,
Yeah.
or maybe um, tease some of the level 6 stuff. I don't know. Some of that needs to still be worked on. So maybe not that, but Yeah.
Yeah, I think make a character's fine.
Okay.
Show on stream how quick it is.
Yeah, yeah. Well, we'll do it with chat's input. So we got 10 people here, and they can give us their input, and we'll let them make the decisions.
Yeah.
So, yeah. Okay,
Nice.
let me get
Good.
that set up to pull up here. Yeah, and oh, that's something we didn't mention. Um, there is a slight rules change that is going to come out for sure this week to the primer.
Oh yeah.
Um,
Yeah.
yeah, do you want to talk about that?
Yeah. So, of course it'll be quick. You made the game. That's great. Um, So one of the big things that we notice with low level play, right, levels 1 through 3, is that if you in your first couple of base powers select a base power that you intended to use it right in a certain way, right? Maybe you are a blaster and you choose a power that it actually says it's melee only, right, or it's not variable. Then you can't use range on it, right? So that puts you at a disadvantage because you are a glass cannon and you selected a power that makes you have to be in melee range to actually use it. And we've kept on running into that with the base powers, that happening a couple times. So we figured, what would be the risk of allowing your base power selection for you to select all 4 base powers that come with your power set out of the gates? So you don't even have to think about selecting any base powers. You just have all 4 of them ready to go. And what that does now is for levels, level 1, you'll have 6 powers, essentially 4 base powers and 2 level 1 tier 1 powers that you can actually select and use. The base powers have always been balanced to be let's say like weak, but allow you to be in the game, right? Especially at the lower level, so that way you can always continue, being balanced with your team and against the threats and so on. But you have all the tools now available to you, just in case there is that one-off chance that you selected the quote a wrong base power, right? We don't want that feeling. I don't want you to feel like you picked the wrong loadout,
Yeah.
So yeah, so 4 base powers available at level 1 is the big change you'll see on the primers, and it was really funny seeing Zarek edit the primer. It was literally just a number change from 2 to 4.
Yeah.
That was it.
Yeah, very minor change in like at least as far as like what the rule book says, right?
Yeah.
Um,
Now our
so
character sheet is a different thing.
yeah,
So
that
our
hasn't
character
changed a lot.
sheet, we'll have to make the base powers. It only shows 2 squares, right, or grids, right? We obviously need to double that so you can write down all of your base powers, all 4 of them that are available to you. So yeah,
Mhm.
so there'll be an updated character sheet coming out here pretty soon, right? Just with everything going on, we'll eventually get to it. But yeah, so that's the only kind of big thing there.
Yeah, and yeah, it was just that thing where like we liked that it was a meaningful choice, but while it was meaningful, um, it also was too difficult to make sometimes. Like, like Ricky was saying, it was like, um, oh, I feel like I really want, like, you generally want the minor action base power. So that's a guaranteed selection for most people. And Draco said Earth Guardian. Well, Guardian is the most popular archetype, but we don't have a poll for the most popular power set.
Right.
Probably should have done one. We can post one, but um, yeah. So yeah, just like it's a meaningful choice, but sometimes it could just feel bad. Like I was saying, right? You've already chosen the minor action base power, so now you only have one option left. And if you're like a guardian, you want the control power, but you also want to be able to deal damage, no matter like for free.
Yeah.
And so it kind of felt like you really had to decide, okay, do I want to have a control ability as a guardian, or do I want to have an attack so that I always have a way to deal damage? And so we were just like base powers in a grand scheme of things, they're not meant to be the thing you do every turn. And so is it really worth having that be a difficult choice? Even though it's meaningful, is it just didn't feel worth it, is what we decided.
Exactly.
Um,
Yeah, less stress, less things to pick at level
Yeah.
1. So you just, hey, you get all 4 of your base powers. Sweet.
Yeah.
So, and you're still limited by them, right? I mean, you're still limited by your action economy and what you can do per turn, anyways. So, but yeah, at least then you have that. So cool. Yeah, let's make a super real quick.
Yeah, I like
Uh,
Oliver's idea of using um,
yes,
the
popular one.
yes.
Yeah,
So let me just try to fit everything
I
on
would say,
here.
why don't we? Because there's 10 power sets, I could use a D10,
Yeah, let's
and
do a
just
random. I like that too.
roll it.
Power set.
So I've got my fancy blue D10
Ooh.
here. So let's do that.
Yeah,
And I've got,
Logan had a good idea too, though. He said we could start with a backstory and design a character to fit that. That would be, maybe we can do both because it doesn't take super long, especially if we're going kind of random.
yeah.
Um,
You know, it's fun too for everybody on stream. Most of the things are within the dice to use for random generation. I actually did that. Donnelly, I think he's on here, but I did a random roll of literally everything and made a super. And yeah, it was easy enough. Everything actually ended up working really well. It wasn't so random. So the story and all that. So. But yeah, going for a story first, that would be good.
okay. Love the backstory. Go with that idea. Okay. Yeah, like I said,
Yeah.
maybe we can do both if because our backer train's still going. We got 67 even here.
Oh,
So,
I got 68 on my refresh.
oh, I need a refresh then.
Yeah, so great. Um, Coolio. So with that, want to start then up at the top.
Yeah.
Let me get my own.
Okay. So I started at archetypes. I guess we're doing the story. We're doing the backstory first kind of concept here. Random superhero generator is also a cool idea. Now backstory and origin idea. Yeah. Yeah, the full SIC Ricky has, like he mentioned, he has a ton of tools for, oh, mine just updated, for creating a random character. And that makes it like super fast because then you're not really making many choices. You don't have to think about it a long
Yeah,
time, stuff like that. Like even for your name and everything, like we've got a list of pretty much like random names for every species so that they can have like a correct sounding name.
yeah.
So yeah. Okay, so how are we doing this with the story first?
Well, we know what the guardian is, right? Like it's going to be a guardian, right?
Okay.
So I feel like we could do a little bit of something where maybe the Guardians' backstory is something where they actually were, protecting somebody or something. That person's been kidnapped, and that's what made them get out and get moving.
Okay.
Um, yeah, something simple like that. So they could be, if we're looking at their like backstory and stuff like that,
Hmm.
or rather their calling, they could be like either a vigilante, um, maybe even somebody that is like, I mean, hero is always good too, right? But I would say
Hmm.
vigilante because he's like, I'm going to be, do put law into my own hands to get back that person.
Yeah.
Uh,
Dude, we just hit
so I would say,
70 backers. Super awesome.
yes,
The backer train is still going. That's awesome.
it's
I wonder
still
where we're
going.
at on the backer kit page.
We are at 3865.
Oh, I meant like on their front page because there's a lot of campaigns going on right now.
Oh, for sure.
So, oh, there we are. We're like, what
We're
number are we? Oh, that shows 72 already. So one,
yeah,
two,
it just
three,
jumped up.
4, 5, 6, 7. So we're still number 8 there.
Nice.
But yeah.
Almost at 4K.
Awesome. Yeah, let me refresh so it's accurate. Oh, it just updated.
Ooh, you know.
There we go.
Oh, dude. Logan, great idea to have a suit as a background. We can make like a Jason Statham kind of like
Dude,
person, you know?
yeah, or like Taken, the
Yeah, or
you,
Taken, yeah.
I will find you
Right.
and I will kill you, or like that kind of thing. That's an
Yes,
interesting choice,
exactly.
like the suit where it's like his business is being a bodyguard. Because you could take that
Yeah,
like a contractor route or the suit route. So,
exactly. Yeah, yeah. Yeah, let's do that. Yeah, so okay,
yeah.
so we'll do suit.
Okay.
Great idea.
Okay, suit as the
And
calling. So origin, so we need to do some power set species and origin here. So let's do some RNG, Ricky.
okay, there we go. Do you have dice near you or?
I do not. My dice are like 1,200 miles away.
No worries, you're good. Okay, well, let's do origins. It's just still a 10. I'm gonna use a 10-sided dice because there's 5 of them.
Yeah.
So let's see here. I've got a 4, so that would be
2 if we just cut it in half. So
yeah, just 2. So is a mutation.
mutation. Okay, I think somebody actually mentioned mutation. It was Oliver, I think. So seeing the future, maybe you have a new power set there.
There you go.
Sightseeing, or wait, sightseeing is like going to see cool stuff.
Sightseeing. Okay, so we got mutation. I'm kind of already seeing it. Maybe he's got some really cool. I mean, let's see.
Let's
I
do
would say,
species next before we go to power set.
yeah,
We got how many? What is it? 7 species types? I
yeah.
actually, I don't know if we want to talk about it, but we had a stretch goal that we removed from the page
Hmm.
for now. Just, yeah. So
Yeah.
right now there's 7 species types. I think it's 7. Humanoid, alien.
No, there's 5 types. So 1,
Oh
2,
yeah. Okay.
3, 4, 5.
Yes,
So
that's
let
right.
me roll
So
for
D10 again.
the type. Yeah.
Yeah.
I got a 8.
Oops, sorry.
Um,
8. So 4. That would make us an Energoid
there you go.
if
So
we're going in
Android.
order that it's in the primer.
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm looking at the primer at the same time. Yeah, he's got
Yeah.
it up too, guys. So, yeah. So yeah, Energoid. So Energoid themselves, as written, they could quite literally be like robots and whatnot. Oh, sorry, 1 second. My alarm's going off. I will be right back, guys.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
Hopefully
it's
everything's
all right.
okay. Yeah. Take care of it.
Yeah, hopefully.
That's okay. While Ricky steps away, um, yeah, as written right now, the only power or species, specific species within the Energoid, oh, whoops, is the Velican. And so I guess we would be a Velican. Now, a lot of people mistake that for meaning you have to have light powers when you're a Velican, but um, they don't all have light powers, even though Divinus, this is Divinus here shown on this page. He has light powers, but it's the way Energoids work is every specific species has kind of like a set, um, I don't know what to call it, like nature, let's call it. So Velicans, for example, are a light-based species. And so the way the Energoids work is they can produce energy within their own bodies by absorbing some form of energy, hence the name Energoid. And so for the Velikins, it's light. When they are like in the sun, they pretty much are getting fed. It's like that's how they get their form of nutrition. And so they absorb the light from like a sun, or it can be any source really. And then they also can produce that from their body, but just not necessarily in a super powered kind of way. So they could be their own light bulb and things like that. Um, and so we're a Velikin, and then I can pull up a random dice roller here. Let's go. There we go. Well, let me hit roll and then I'll try it again. Oh, there we go. Okay. So we'll go ahead and roll here for the power set. Oh, 10. So that's going to be weapon mastery. Oh, wow. It's like almost perfect for like a Jason Statham and oh my gosh, why am I having a brain fart on this? Um, Liam Neeson, like that type of character. It's perfect to have weapon mastery.
Sorry about that, everybody. My alarm went off for absolutely no reason.
Well, hey, that's good. That's what we want.
Yep.
So I just rolled for the power set, Ricky, and I rolled a
Okay.
10. So we're doing weapon mastery, which
No way.
I was saying is
Wow.
just hilarious because you were just talking about like a Jason Statham, Liam Neeson type character. And so it was meant to be.
There you go. That's
It was
awesome.
fate.
Solid.
And yeah, very interesting combo with Guardian.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, maybe he's in your face, like he's got gun foo, you know what I mean?
Oh yeah, yeah. Or
So,
just like, could just be picking up like, because a lot of the times they use like, what's the word? Just like a weapon that's it's not necessarily a weapon, like a pipe or a book or like
yeah,
the scene from Jason Bourne. I think it was the
yeah.
second Bourne movie where he fights
Mm-hmm.
the guy with the book, the assassin. So yeah, and then we hit 4K. We got 74 backers and we hit 4K. So super awesome, super awesome. I think Ricky's texting somebody.
Now messaging on
Oh, he's
the
typing. Yes.
so good. So good.
Improvised weapon. Thank you, Logan.
Improvise. There you go.
Yes, that would be the word. I got a lot going through my head right now. Sorry. That should be something easy to think about, but
Nice,
okay.
man. All right,
So
so where'd you leave off? So you got power set, and
so
now
we've
what
got
else?
everything. So now we need
Sure.
to figure out a name, either what their super name is or their identity first, and then we need to do our stats. And I think we'll just keep the chat involved in that. I kind of need to grab a water. Oh, power origin,
Yeah.
we did mutation. Oh, sorry, that was a lot of noise probably.
Yeah.
Ricky rolled a d10 and he got a 4, so we just cut that in half for 2, and that put us at mutation. So I wonder if we can take this in a superhero way, especially since he's
Mm-hmm.
an energoid. And maybe what if his power, especially since I was just talking about this idea with gadgetry, is instead of like weapons,
Mm-hmm.
like guns and swords, what if he just kind of creates like um, objects out of his body that he can use as weapons, or maybe he can just directly create weapons out of his body. But it's that idea I was just talking about with Oliver.
Yeah.
That might be kind of cool. What does everybody think about that? He is a
He is a
weapon.
weapon.
Oh yeah, that's like he
Yeah.
can just turn his arm into a sword or something. That's a really cool way to take it. Absolutely. It's kind of like, um, oh, or even yeah, you could tie it. So Logan's bring up another like good point. It's kind of the opposite of what I said with Ricky's character Sir Aldrich, where
Hmm.
you kind of re-theme the powers in a much more different way to where it's almost like light. He's using light energy, but it's as weapons. Whereas like Sir Aldrich
Yeah.
has weapons, but he uses those to use his light energy powers. So we could do that.
Yeah.
That's really cool, actually. And
Absolutely.
the mutation maybe is that he can convert the light that his body produces into like a physical object rather than like
Yeah.
energy. That's kind of cool. I like that idea.
Yeah, because of the Energoid, I mean, he's absorbing different light, so that easily can, be
Hmm.
manipulated there, right?
Yeah, yeah. I like that. So here, let's write
Nice.
down that backstory a little bit, or description. Is a Velican that can, or that was mutated to have the ability to convert light into physical matter,
Hmm.
or maybe solid matter would be the better way. Solid matter using it as weapons. There we go. So then it's like if somebody throws a grenade or something and he's like unhurt, unharmed by it, or even if he gets hit by it, kind of, as long as he's still alive, that can like power him up to have more energy to like create what the weapons with.
It's so sick.
Yeah, that is actually really cool.
I
Is Milton still in the chat? Milton, are you hearing this?
I know, like it's like we're gonna need a new artwork over here.
Yeah.
So I dropped my dice. That was so excited. Yeah, that's so great. I'm trying to find a cool code name.
Yeah. Names are hard. We're gonna definitely need
Name,
some
yeah,
input from people watching for the name, I think.
yeah.
I can't see chat when I have both these screens up for myself, so I think
Like what?
for identity, he'd probably have a secret identity, right? Like his personal.
Yeah, for sure,
And so
for
like
sure.
because you were saying his backstory is that his maybe like a family member was taken or even like killed, and so he's on like a revenge.
Yeah, Revenge Tour. It's probably his
Yeah.
dog.
Oh yeah, John Wick. Got to go with the dog. Dog made of light because he's a Velican, so it was a Velican dog. There we go.
There you go. It's a Velican dog. It's awesome. Could be. I mean, if it's a Velican, no, that's. I was trying to think of the robotic side. Sorry. Um, that like they have a part of the spark, and the spark is also like Sparky. Like it's
Oh, that
Sparky the
would be
dog.
funny if it was like yeah, if we were the
Yeah,
robotics, like a chromid.
yeah. If it was a Chromid, yeah. But no, it's all good. I'm trying to make Jason Bourne, but an alternate name. That's funny.
Hmm. I wonder if we could do something fun with like light, like bright. I don't know, something with like light words or relation to that. Yeah, what should we
Excuse me.
name this character?
Let's see. I don't know. It's always the name, man, that gets stuck.
I know the names are so hard. Like we come up with this story that's very like specific, and then ooh, strobe, and then it's like so hard to come up with a name though.
Yeah.
That's funny.
Could've-
Oh, Lumen, yeah, Strobe and Lumen, those are cool. I definitely like playing on the light for the super name.
Yeah.
Everyone else calls him Cal. Yeah, that's funny.
It's DJ Khaled.
Yeah,
You
yeah.
know, he's also a part-time DJ. You know, he
Oh,
needs
that's his
some kind of
business. That's his business as a suit. He's a DJ.
yeah. There you go.
Yeah, it's fun to like goof around with character ideas.
Yeah, great. Yeah, he had the perfect performance for his I don't know, his friend or something, and at that same performance his friend was kidnapped, and now he's on a pursuit to stop them.
Yeah. Here, let's look up thesaurus. This is what I always do. Thesaurus. Um, let's look up. Let's just start with synonyms for weapon. Strobe knife, because it almost sounds like light. I don't know.
There you go.
I definitely kind of like I like some play on words with strobe. And then my second go-to is always um, pick a language. What's a language that you like the sound of, Ricky?
Um, Italian.
Okay. Yeah, you guys are learning my
Italian.
process for naming things. Armastrobe. Arma would be weapons.
DJ Strobe Light.
Well, that would give
Yeah.
away his secret identity if he made it clear that
No, but
he
you
was
don't know.
DJ.
You don't know. You're like,
Which one is he? The guy who glows?
is he the guy who
Couldn't be
glows, or
that
is he gonna
one.
make you glow? Yeah, Arma.
Strobe
Yeah,
Arsenal.
DJ Arma Strobe.
Armastrobe. I kind of like Armastrobe. Maybe we'll do that as like a temp name.
Marlene said something Texan.
Texan.
Great.
Oops.
I'll say for
Okay.
now, DJ Arma Strobe.
Okay, I'll add DJ just for fun.
Yeah. No, he's yeah. There we go. Public
It
is
kind
DJ
of
Arma Strobe, and
right.
then secret identity is oh, I'm saying it the opposite. Sorry. His real name, right? Um, Strobe Slinger.
Well, that sounds like a super name.
Yeah, there you go. That's a good one from Logan. That'll be the super name.
Soul Lumen. Yeah, yeah. There's a lot of. Wait, is there a play we can do on like jazz music with soul?
Stroboscopia armatura. That's great.
Oh yeah. Fun part of this. It's always like the fun, but it
Yeah.
like stumps you always. I feel like.
I'll say let's leave it at that, DJ Armstrong, for now, and then
Okay.
we'll
Yeah.
build in the stats here.
Yeah. Let's do the stats now. My headset cable is like freaking out here.
It always starts with the archetype as far as making your stats.
There we go. My headset cable is like all twisted up.
Oh.
Oh
no.
no, the backer train ended. That's
Oh,
okay. We'll keep going
no.
until we finish this character.
Yeah.
Because we're having fun.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so for stats, let's see here. DJ Armastrobe definitely sounds like he's more about attacks. He does He'll eventually get some bonus attack modifier for being a weapon master, but I think oddly we might want to kind of have a high intellect for the attack modifier.
Mhm.
But we could, especially with getting all 4 base powers, like we'll have dirty fighting to try to blind somebody.
Yeah.
Um,
What a great change that was. Good idea.
yeah, whose idea
um,
was that? I can't remember.
I
I
don't
know
know.
you
Actually, I
ended
think
up
that came
pushing
from
for it though. Yeah.
yeah, I think that came from playing. Yeah, it was some folks were playing with
I know I mentioned it after my session with. Oh, now I know who came up with it. It was the session with
it.
the D&D content creators with
Oh, there you
Colby
go.
and them. Nathan, D&D Unoptimized, because they all stayed after and like talked about the game with me for a bit, and then Nathan and
For
I
sure.
stayed for like another hour after that to talk.
Nice.
And I think we were talking about that, and he mentioned maybe we could, like maybe we just get all of them. Like, is that such a bad thing? So, yeah.
Right. There you
Okay.
go.
So, do we want a 3 intellect or a 2?
I would say 2, just to give him just a little bit extra.
Yeah.
Plus, I'd say he probably like wouldn't get. Yeah, this is being hyper meta, but intellect helps with stuff like terrified and taunt. So
hmm
I think he'd be a little bit better at that kind of thing, protecting
Yeah.
against it.
Yeah. I mean, we do good control modifier is good, so I think maybe
Yeah, and
we
you
could do
get
a 2-2-2,
durability.
2 durability, 2 intellect, 2 power maybe. But I almost just like
Yeah,
going 3 and 3-2-1. I don't know. What do you think? What is
I think it's
folks in the chat think? Oh, Luciano is an Italian name that means light. There we go.
there you go. Let's put that as the
Yeah.
secret identity.
hmm
There you
Well,
go.
Luciano.
um,
We'll have to think about a last name here. But yeah.
yeah,
Um, I don't know. I'm kind of partial to the 2-2-2 actually. I think some good damage modifier is good.
yeah. I think that's pretty good. Plus, it covers him again, like back to power and durability checks too.
Yeah. So he'll
So
have
yeah,
2 in all those. Let's go
so yeah,
back
being
up
a
to the
guardian, he
types.
gets +1 durability. We're given an additional 1 to that, so it's a
Mhm.
2.
Yeah. So that's our +1, and then 1, 2, 2. That's 5. So we spend all 5 of our points. As a guardian, our max health is 22 plus our durability, so we'd have 24.
Yeah. Thanks, Yuri.
Defense,
Say yeah, we went around trying to figure out how to format the character sheet, but yeah, we wanted the heart to be kind of like right towards the middle of the page, so you always kind of see it in the middle. But yeah,
yeah, yeah,
yeah. So 20,
yeah. Thank you.
22. Mm-hmm.
Appreciate the compliments. So mutation, I guess we'll finish this and then we'll go to that. I'll make sure I follow the proper steps. Um, Range is 4 and movement is 6. I know that because melee. So bruisers and guardians have a range of 4, and everybody except a hunter has a movement of 6. So maybe more people should vote for hunters as their favorite archetype because they get more movement.
More movement. That's funny.
And
Yeah.
then I'll write in.
And then
So
for
then,
everybody new watching, essentially, if you just go down the list, you start filling things out, right? And there is a step-by-step process that Zarek was showing earlier, but it's about
yeah,
8 steps total. So,
here,
yeah.
yeah. So like here's
There you
the
go.
start of the step by step. So we already have the character sheet, obviously. We're doing a randomized character here, but we started out by choosing Guardian because the poll that we have on our page, at least at the time, the most popular one was Guardian.
Yeah.
So I don't know if it still is. Let me see. I'm kind of curious.
It was up there, so
Oh yeah. Holy
sure,
cow,
I'm
yeah.
sure it is.
Guardian's got 40%. Holy cow.
So yeah, so
Oh, the
I think
vote
it still
ended
can
on
stay
that
there.
one. Wait, let me open that back up. I don't know why our polls are ending. I must have
Hmm.
set them at the wrong date. Let me just have these as no, or I'll have the end date be the end of the Backerkit campaign.
There you go. $75 backers, 40-40 total.
Wow.
That's awesome.
Awesome, awesome. Oh,
Yeah.
okay. Now it ends. Yep, okay. So I've got the polls all opened up, but we'll still use the current highest voted archetype, which is Guardian, by a pretty large margin. That's 20 votes. So I think that should be 8 people voted for Guardian.
Yeah.
Wow.
Pretty cool.
Yeah. Awesome.
Awesome.
Okay, so let's get back here to the character. So yeah, that's where we were at the steps. I'm now noting our maximum drive and our drive feature. So here's our drive feature down here. PDFs do weird formatting when you copy them, so just gotta fix that. And our drive recovery is 1. I know that, but it's also, right, no. These handy dandy clickable links, they're very nice.
Yeah, very
Yeah,
nice. I like.
recovery value of 1. And then our max drive is 2 because we're level 1. Okay, and now to continue where we were, we've got to get our archetype
Species type.
ability.
Oh yeah, archetype ability. Yep.
Yep.
Paste that in there.
So that's going to be taunt for Bruiser or Guardian, I mean. Oops. We get to use this 2 per encounter. Let me fix the formatting again. There we go. Okay. And now we will go to the next step, which will be our origin. Oh, no, sorry, it's our species.
Species.
Yep.
Yeah.
So we got to grab the Energoid species traits.
So every species has these traits that is unique to the species type, but they aren't combat focused. We wanted to make sure that you didn't get an edge because you are this particular species or whatever it is.
Yeah, or drive you to
So that
pick a certain combo. Like if
yeah,
Krigorians, for example, or humanoids were always like stronger, if they had more might, then you would
yeah,
always pick that with a bruiser, and there would be no reason to pick anything else almost. So
exactly. Yeah. Yeah, so these are always going to be fun, unique things that species type can do. It also allows, you notice a while ago we selected the type. The type allows you to create things within it, right? So we chose Energoid, and Velican is the species that we have available in the book. That doesn't mean that you can't say, hey, I'm an Energoid, but I'm a different kind of Energoid of this and that, right? For your role-playing aspect of it, your thematics of it. So it allows you to really make, kind of the Energoid you want, right? There's a joke we have with the robotic species type that everybody makes literally a robot and never literally chooses Chromid,
yeah.
which is a really cool species. We have great art for them. They look
Mhm.
really cool. They have cool lore. But anyways, it's just fun. But it's just all that to say that you can choose the type and not have to worry about necessarily you having a disadvantage or advantage in combat or something. So
Yeah. And hello, Charles. Thanks for joining.
hello.
There we go. And that's number 76, it looks like. Charles might be number 76. So thank you very much. Appreciate it. Okay. So next, oh,
Now we got
we didn't
origin.
do from our archetype actually. We
What's
did
that?
not do our skill expertise. Okay, so
Oh
which
yeah.
skills would DJ Armstrong, the DJ part just keeps getting me, be good at? So we can choose civics, physics, piloting, and survival. I feel like survival, based on the character we're talking about, with like a,
Yeah.
um, you know, all the action hero kind of characters, or action movie characters rather, Jason Statham, um,
Yeah. He's always good
Liam
at it.
Neeson, Jason Bourne. I know that's not the actor's name, but oh my gosh,
Yeah.
what, what's his name?
Jason Statham. Yeah,
No,
that
Jason
is the.
Bourne. No, Jason Bourne. He's the
Oh,
actor.
oh,
Um,
Matt
yes,
Damon.
Matt Damon. Thank you. Yeah.
So,
Okay.
um, this is a toughie because I kind of like civics because he could maybe talk down something, you know?
Yeah.
Civics is about diplomacy. It's about working with somebody, using words instead of, fighting, right? But piloting makes sense to me because perhaps he
Mm,
can jump into a car without issue. He can hotwire it. He can,
yeah.
Yuri, say you asked us if this is sci-fi-esque. Piloting would have to do directly with piloting a spaceship.
Yeah.
So, so being able to do that easily, I don't know. Physics is more literally the science of physics. So that's kind of like the science-esque of like understanding how, things are composed of and how they interact together, that kind of thing. So,
Right.
yeah. But yeah, I would say civics or piloting. What do you think?
Yeah, I think piloting. I like civics, but I feel like that's almost more of an intimidation thing, maybe. The way that character would do it, it's because we're talking about like Jason Statham is like he's gonna
Yeah.
pretty much like tell somebody he's going to beat the crap out of them if they don't do what he's asking, that kind of thing, rather than
Hmm.
like let's be civil here, like you know. So
Yeah. But
let's
Yuri
see,
had a good
Yuri.
point. I
Yeah,
think.
I think.
Yeah. Go for it.
Um, oh, like if you're saying if we made it an option, so I think with your variable stat to combat stat approach, you could do species stat mods without making anything an auto pick with 3 stats per archetype. Each species should be good on. Yeah. Well, so out of I mean, if we have 5 archetypes and they generally have a primary stat, um, and they get 3 options, it means those. Granted, it's not like they're good for their best is that one archetype. Um, it would mean they're best for 3 of the 5 archetypes. So it's like, oh, that species you don't pick unless you're one of like there would be pressure for optimization to say like,
Yeah.
oh, um, let's just say humanoids, they get +1 might, agility, and intellect. Well, you don't play blasters as humanoids, and you also don't play um, guardians as humanoids. We would get
Exactly.
ourselves into that position, and so we don't want that kind of thing. And then also being a superhero system and setting, um, when you're a superhero, at least the way we want to approach it is the way you're born doesn't make you're a super, right? Maybe your nature, like the character we're making now, right? Like maybe their powers work really well with their kind of natural existence, but I think that's just more of like a fun way to tie them together and like make it because superheroes always have like a random good luck coincidence kind of thing. Um, like Batman happens to be a billionaire, like so he's got enough money
Yeah.
to make all the stuff he wants to make, or like for Spider-Man, he happens to be like the original story for Spider-Man was that like he happens to be the one in a million person that got bit by the radioactive spider, and his DNA interacted just right to give him those superpowers. So it's like we're kind of doing that in a sense. He's born as a Velican. He can control light, or not control light, but he can produce light, and then his power from his mutation gives him the ability to turn it solid. So it's like a happy accident if we're going to go the Bob Ross route. It's um, just
The
like a
Bob
good
Ross.
coincidence that he has that power with the nature of creating light. But yeah, we don't want it to be like, oh, you're special or super because of what you were born as. It's more like what turned you into a super.
Exactly. Yep. 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 78 backers. Boom,
Yeah,
boom, boom.
we got
All
another
right.
backer
So,
train. Hmm. Yeah, I mean, I think you could always do that in a fantasy system. It's interesting. I was just talking about this yesterday with in a Discord, in Insight Checks Discord actually. He's one of we sponsored um, with his video, and um, in his Discord we were just talking about how you could take the Indominant system and make some modifications to make it fit a fantasy setting. But I think if you did that, you definitely could have the like species or races or whatever you want to call them um, give you a stat bonus. But I definitely think like if you're going to do that, I love talking about game design. So if you're going to do that,
yeah.
just be wary that like you do make it so that species is only good with these three archetypes, for example. So
Yeah.
definitely something to keep in mind. Okay, so back to the character. We're down on the origin now. And so we picked mutation. That'll give us a +1 damage reduction.
And you got
I usually like
some
to do no pluses,
skills.
but I know like Ricky does. I think Ricky, you put a minus here for when you normally do your damage reduction, right?
Yeah. Yeah. Because then now you just know, oh, it's minus that amount.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then, okay, fitness, intimidation, sneak, or survival. We already chose survival, so let's not do that again. I mean, fitness feels like a pretty good one, right? I guess we almost talked about this in a sense.
Yeah.
Do you agree? Or does the
Yeah. Yeah. I
chat
think
agree too?
fitness makes sense for sure, and then intimidation. Um,
Oh,
I think
Yuri,
that's
yeah. Sorry.
yeah.
Yuri was saying, yeah, from like the grognard perspective, the having species have a preferred archetype is a plus. Yeah, I mean there's just different approaches. Absolutely, I think it fits more in a fantasy setting,
Mm-hmm.
but less in a superhero setting. So
Yeah. Off the topic of TTRPGs, there's World of Warcraft as a game. And if you want to maximize a paladin, you would either choose the dwarf or the tauren, who have the best health boost or defensive boosts.
right,
So,
right.
so it's just kind of
Yeah,
like those things. Like that's
I
why you saw an abundance of those
hmm
versus other paladins being chosen.
right.
You wouldn't be as optimized.
Yeah,
So,
when I played WoW when I was young, it was when the Blood Elves, I think they're called, came out. I made a Blood
yeah.
Elf Paladin, and it's like it's not the best combo.
Yeah, exactly. And that was a constant thing in the community of that of like you're not optimized or we need you to be this one, right? And
Yeah,
that's what we didn't want for our game. Like,
yeah,
no, you
you're a
could
bad
play out.
paladin because you chose the wrong race or species. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. So that's where we wanted to go on this one. That it doesn't matter,
hmm
So
Yeah, yeah. Okay, so we got three or the expertise in fitness. When I update the sheet, we'll have to. There's some weird ones that are aligned like left or like we'll see
Oh,
on the
really?
powers.
Okay.
One of the base powers, one of these is like really big font and the other is small font
Oh,
somehow.
that's funny. Okay. Yeah,
Which I
I'll have
don't
to
even know
update.
how it happened because we had checked it like 5 times when you updated it, and here we are.
It's EDS, man.
hmm Well, I think it might be the way we have to do it because Affinity doesn't have form fill settings. Okay, and then do we want Intimidation or Sneak now for the last one? Because both, I think, fit this kind of character of like a Jason Bourne
Yes.
really well.
I think it's gonna be Intimidation because we don't have another one that's like social skill, yet.
That's a good point.
And I think he could train up his sneak skill,
Right, right. Yeah,
So
there you
that's
go.
another way. Like,
Ricky's optimizing skills. Look at us go.
yeah, look at that, right?
That's good. No, that's good.
It's Yeah, because you could very quickly use sneak. You could sneak around everywhere, and you'll learn very quickly. And you have downtime to go ahead and practice sneaking around too. So, so we have some downtime ability to practice your skills up, get more experience.
hmm
Yeah, thank you, Milton.
Yeah,
It took me
absolutely. Thank you,
60
Milton.
days
And
to get where you are in 2 hours. Thanks, Milton. I mean, honestly,
y-
I appreciate it so much, man. But your
yeah,
artwork is what I think
yeah,
is a
your
big part
artwork's
of
a
it.
huge reason. Yeah.
That's you, man, right there, Milton. So,
Yes, your art is a huge reason that, like, I mean, the game looks professional. We got really good art, um,
yeah,
and it's very inspiring too. At least, I mean, I feel that way. I feel like the art is very inspiring for like a superhero game, and for
yeah.
like character concepts too. We're Milton. We're creating a character that's going to maybe be the next one you draw. Who knows?
A fun one.
Thank you,
Some else.
Milton. We still need to play with you, Milton.
I know. We sent him the primer forever ago now, and now we have to actually go and play with it.
hmm
So.
Yeah.
All right. So we got the origin, got the
Yeah.
expertise in it.
Next would be
Sweet.
calling, which we did select as suit. I wonder
Yeah.
maybe when we update the character sheet, we should put a little section for the calling pros and cons, because they don't have to be these exact ones, but maybe it'd
Yeah.
be good to have there be a place for you to note that. Like,
It's
it's nice to have a big
probably in
note
the
section, but
yeah. It'd probably be in the last pages, right, where your art and stuff is.
yeah, yeah, I'm
Probably
looking at that
right
page
around here.
now. I think
Yeah.
somewhere on here,
And if
maybe
it,
we cut the description in half or something and
yeah.
replace that with
hmm
calling pros and cons, something like that. Yeah. Okay. Oh, we do need our credits. As a suit, I think that's the most credits. Yeah, 1,000.
Yep. They got the highest amount.
He's a really good DJ. He's making bank as a DJ. And then lifestyle. I feel like this one wrote itself with the DJ. Like he probably would live pretty lavish. I don't know. Maybe as a character though, he doesn't care anymore now that like his dog or family member was killed.
Yeah. He probably would be. I would say he's probably like living modest.
Yeah.
Um, you know. Yeah, it's entirely up to you. This is very much a role play thing. But when your person your super is going to, check into a hotel, like would they choose the highest luxurious place and like want a breakfast in
Right.
bed kind of thing, or do they want, hey, I don't care where I sleep or whatever. I don't even care what I eat. Like I'm here to save the day. I'm here to do this. Or I have a mission. They're very frugal. So yeah,
hmm
I would say he's probably just modest, if
Modest.
anything.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it helps. You don't have to play by like your lifestyle necessarily. It's just a guiding way of thinking about that. So
Yeah. It helps you visualize like things and like role play your character and what they would do in some scenarios. Definitely has an impact on those sorts of things. It's just helping like build out that rounded kind of like story of who your character is, and some of those like
yeah,
lifestyle could change. Maybe your super
yeah,
starts one way, and as you get a higher level, and maybe they get more money, maybe they change how they live a little bit, stuff like that.
exactly.
Yeah.
We got another one, 79. The hype train is back.
Oh yeah, we got five on the backer train.
Oh,
Okay.
yeah. So from there, you got calling, and then your lifestyle, and then yeah, we selected power set already. So
Yeah.
I think we're basically good.
Well,
Yeah, if
we
we
would
were
have to
level,
select powers. Yeah.
yeah, we'd have to select the powers, which we could probably still do if we want.
Yeah, I think so.
The yeah, especially for this one, we can think about how we flavor it. So this is the inherent effect. Every power set has a unique inherent effect. This is something that usually it's passive in how it starts or how it generates. But for the weapon master, they're all about doing combinations of attacks. So the more attacks that they do that are successful, they build up these combo points, and then that leads to a massive, giant finishing blow that deals a whole heck of a ton of damage.
And
But
is an
it
auto hit.
cannot miss.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, and it cannot miss.
Yeah.
And if it's a critical hit, oh my gosh, it's even more powerful. So
Yes. Yeah.
yeah,
Even though it auto hits, you still roll for your attack to see if you crit. And
yeah,
even though normally that's a 5% chance because you have to hit a 20 or higher, we have dominance that makes that more likely, which is where you roll an added dice or an added die and you add it to your d20, but you treat it
hmm
as if it's part of that d20 roll. And so
yeah,
dominance can make it so it can crit easier. And then we do have a stat. It's not shown on the character sheet, which maybe we should add, but you can increase your critical hit chance by like one. Generally, you only get +1 at a time. You could stack it up maybe, so you have like a total of +2 or +3 even, which would be crazy, because then that would be what um, 17 or higher on the die is a crit, and then if you have dominance, it adds even more to that. So definitely important to roll for the finishing blow attack. So
yeah.
I wrote the damage here. You could either track your combo points here, or you could um, do something like this for weapon mastery, where
Yeah.
the left number is your current combo points, and the right number is your damage. Or you could just write your like finishing blow
So
damage. Okay.
chatting to Yuri said, "What's a weapon master healer buffer looks like?" And I'm like, "Well, he'll shoot you with needles, and it heals you."
Yeah, the healing of an arbiter with any power set can be really fun and interesting.
Yeah,
And then
yeah,
Yuri did comment, um, they don't like superheroes, but they find our mechanical ideas interesting. So thank you very much. That's
yeah, yeah.
appreciated.
Thank you.
And Mike, no rush. Your support of playing the game is enough. So we appreciate everything. We're having a credit fight here. Milton's like, no, it's all them, and everyone's like, well, we're like, it's the art, and then he's like, no, it's funny.
Yeah. No, it's you. No, you're great. No, you're great.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh yeah, I love a martial artist arbiter or super strength arbiter is fun. I actually played a
Yeah.
super strength arbiter just recently. We were level 1 only, but at level 2, I actually played it with Peter from Tales from Elsewhere for the GM's Day Off event. If we were level 2, I would have had a talent where I could heal people when I like knock an enemy around, and so I had a lot of powers to knock people back and stuff. And my kind of thematic for that was when I do that, I like create this shockwave, and it's just magic. Well, not magic, but like magically heals people. Like I knock someone back, and it sends out this little shockwave that somehow soothes their body and heals them a little bit, kind of thing.
Yeah. So good.
So it's always fun to come up with that. The
Yeah.
primer book is a quick start guide, Yuri. The PDF is totally free. I think Ricky and I are actually talking. So the primer is an add-on you can get on the backer kit. And
hmm
right now we have the primer available on drive-through, but we're trying to see if we'll be able to place an order for the primer um, like a order of books for the
Yeah,
primer,
off
just so we can get a better
off printing.
quality. Yeah, doing some offset printing.
Yeah.
So we might pull that off of Drive-Thru RPG for now and still let people get it on the backer kit. And then depending on what we do, we would just give them a discount to go to Drive-Thru if we're not doing an offset printing run. And then if we do order a print run from a manufacturer, then we would just send those that way. So, but either way, the PDF is totally free, and that's all the rules you need to play the game. And it's all the content up to level 5, and it also has all the rules and stuff for the comic editor as well. So, and it's a quick start guide, but somebody else said it earlier in here. I don't know if you can see my air quotes, but it's 196 pages. So most quick starts are not that long. It's almost 200 pages. And yes, we still do give it for free. Yeah, absolutely. No worries. Thank you very much for
Okay.
getting
That's
that. So,
that's what it's for. Yep. Awesome. All right, let's look at some of these powers then.
yes.
So like we said, the new rule is you get all 4 of those base powers at level 1. So immediately you've got all those options available to you. Do you want to talk a bit about the ones that are variable and just what that means?
Yeah, so especially in weapon mastery, you will see variable uh, attacks or powers with a variable range. And what that means is if you are a melee archetype, which would be the bruiser or the guardian, then it is melee for you, which means you have to be within melee range, which is 1 unit. There are some ways to extend that, maybe even temporarily or permanently. And then if you're a ranged archetype, which would be the blaster, arbiter, and hunter, they are ranged for you. So if you are a guardian, like this character, basic strike, and that's actually why we have these slashes for the name, it would pretty much be basic strike because it would be a melee attack. So we'd have to like hit somebody in melee range for this. But if we were a blaster, then this would be ranged and it would have whatever our range is as a blaster because blaster, arbiter, and hunter all have different ranges. So do bruiser and guardian. Theirs is 4. Um, so it's kind of a tool we use to mechanically balance things because we don't want a guardian or a bruiser standing like a mile away, throwing stuff and then being really durable too. Their weakness is their lack of range, just like the blaster's strength is their long range, but their weakness is that they are frail. So when somebody gets into range, that's when they're threatened. So, ooh, we just hit 80. Look at that. Awesome.
Gosh.
Man, that's crazy. There's 80 people backing the game right now. Super awesome.
Wild, man.
Okay, so I think since we're level 1 and like you said, we get all 4 base powers now, which we'll send out. We'll be updating the primer PDF this week with that. Like Ricky was saying earlier, not everyone was here, but we just had to change one number from 2 to 4. So you get all 4 of your
Yep.
base powers, and then we'll change the character sheet. The character sheet will probably push to where there's another row of base powers, and tier 4 powers will not be on this page. They'll go to the next page, and that'll actually work conveniently because for the primer, then you wouldn't have something on this page that you'll never use. So the primer
Yeah.
content takes you up to tier 3 powers, so it'll actually make things a little bit cleaner in that way. And like I guess we could have a character sheet that comes with a primer that's up, it stops at this page, it doesn't have the extra
Yeah.
pages for powers or something. So, and then we'll try to figure something out, but it would be great if we could fit tier 9 and 10 like on this page somehow, but I know that's probably not going to happen. So,
We'll have to figure
anyways,
it out. Yeah.
yeah, we'll figure it out. I think actually we'll need the extra space. We've always kind of needed more room for powers, so
Yeah.
it'll be good. Okay, so tier 1 powers. I think it's fitting for this character to probably, especially as a guardian, have deflection, and I'll give them a good reaction.
Yeah, that's a good one. Especially if they're DJing and they're blocking all the haters.
Yeah.
You
So
know?
yeah, and this one you have to use it when it says when someone attacks you, it's before you know the result. So when someone tells you they have attacked you, you have to decide to use this.
Hmm. Yeah, I like it. Yeah, Yuri, so signature powers start at level 6. So the primer does not include the signature powers. And we kind of did it a little bit on purpose because we wanted to have like that first 5 levels just focus on understanding how your archetype and your power set actually plays. And then you really, when you get into level 6, then you can really master something and say, hey, this is my signature move, right? This is my
Hmm.
one thing that I can, do exceptionally well. And the signature power will continue to grow all the way up to level 20. So it's going to be really, really cool to see like being able to consistently grow that I think we said every other level, or is it every level,
No,
Zarek?
every level you get one. So the way it works
Yeah,
is you
one.
get
Mhm.
signature power points equal to your level, and so every time you
Yeah,
level, you
that's
get
what
an
it was.
extra one. Um,
Yep. So it
and
keeps getting
so,
better every level. Yep.
yep, every time you level up, you get to like add an extra effect to your signature power, pretty much.
Yep.
So,
Yep. Yep.
okay.
Yeah, I think the other power, I've always liked double strike and shot for weapon mastery.
Hmm.
It's a good, straightforward kind of attack, and builds up your combo points.
Yeah, it does. I also like Duelist Focus specifically for this character as a guardian because it also plays into the theme. I mean, a lot of times, like those action movie characters, they kind of like get locked into a duel and they just like destroy them, right? Um,
That's
and
fair.
so I feel like it kind of fits there. And then at level 3, though, or level 2, I mean, sorry, I would definitely say Double Strike is good. I mean, honestly, all these are good options. Like Dashing Strike gives you extra mobility, which is still really good on a Guardian. So that's a good choice. Defensive Poise, you get even more defense, and it just reduces your damage modifier, so you're still accurate, and your control modifier can stay high. So honestly, there's some meaningful choices to be made at tier 1 for this character. In general, I think like these are all good for almost any character for the most part. So
Yeah.
it's really
And
maybe
in
more
role.
about the order you want to pick them in. Because at level 1, like which one do you need the least? Does that make sense?
Yeah. Yeah.
So maybe double
Especially
strike is good.
balancing on your team.
Hmm.
If you're with a team of 3 other people, and one of them is extremely damage focused, another one is like your healer supporter kind of person. You can balance off of those two extremes of like, okay, what do we need more of on there, right?
Hmm.
And that first choice will be very meaningful for you. And I think a thing I love about our game is that we don't lock in any of your choices. So let's say you go on a mission where you're like, hey, I've got to go rescue, these people from the bank. They're being held hostage or whatever. What, powers do I think I'll need the most from my list, right? And you kind of load up those. But on the next mission, maybe something else is different, right? You're going to, a villain's base. So you have powers that allow you to not only sneak in more, but allow you to focus because of, where you're going and stuff. So it's all different kind of things that you can kind of swap out as you need to. And weapon mastery or any of the rest, you could always role play how that works, right? Like, hey,
Hmm.
I'm gonna pick this, one, and I'm bringing this kind of weapon, right? So instead, so
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. That's one you can. You definitely want to like. We suggest comic editors to keep it somewhat limited. That way, it's not like, oh, what kind of mission are we doing? Okay, I'll change this.
yeah,
Usually, you want to have like a reason, but that reason can also just be I didn't really find that power as useful, or like I didn't have as many scenarios to use that power as I thought I would. So I didn't really use it much, so
exactly.
therefore I don't want it anymore. And then, your character, the in lore choice for your character to be like, oh yeah, I practiced this move that I trained myself to do, and it doesn't do what I want it to do. You know, it's kind of the same concept, but then they retrain and they like practice a new move kind of thing.
Yeah,
We like kind of
like
looking at the powers as those, where it's like a move they practice and do, um,
yeah.
that type of thing.
Yeah, and like no great like superhero comic, I should say, like comic story or animated story or anything like that, keep the exact same powers every single episode, every single, comic, right? They usually have some new tool or some new thing that they're using,
Hmm.
so that keeps it very, I think, fresh per every mission that you play, because you can move things around, right? And obviously, when you level up and you gain talents, which is we haven't even talked about here, you get
Yeah.
to tweak it even more, how you're playing and so on, right? So yeah, there's a lot of scalability, a lot of replayability. Um, Zarek loves playing as like a fire bruiser, and I
Yeah.
feel like every time he plays it entirely different, and that is actually okay. That's how we built the system.
Hmm. Yeah,
So
yeah, it's true. I played Shelburne and made him like a different version of Shelburne, like probably 3 or 4 different versions of him, where like he
exactly,
plays slightly differently, or he's got like more mobility sometimes and less others, or sometimes he's good at
yeah,
like area damage, and so he just like charges into a swath of enemies and blows himself up, kind of thing. Not literally, but like one of the
yeah,
powers is combustion, and so you automatically damage everybody around you, and so it can hurt your allies, but it's really good if you just run into a group of enemies. So,
exactly.
and then like other times I'll be kind of single target focused and mobility, stuff like that. So yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
I mean, great example, especially because I've played Shelburne so much.
yeah.
Yeah, which is I don't know if he probably doesn't have his name anywhere on the backer kit, so I'll show him real quick.
Got photos though, but yeah.
Yeah, yeah, but
While
it's
you
like you don't know who it is. I mean, maybe the name
exactly,
alone can kind of tell people. Um,
yeah. I'll be right back, Sarek. Sorry.
okay, no worries. Yeah, I'll show this art while Ricky's stepping away. Um, but this is like one of my favorite characters, so I played him a lot. Um, Normally I can open this in, huh. Hang on, sorry, this is weird. Normally I can open a PDF on Microsoft Edge, but it's not letting me right now for some reason. Oh, there we go. So this is Shelburne. Oh, let me get the one with more detail. There we go. Yeah, so this is Shelburne. Whoa, that zoom is crazy strong. He's a mutated human. He's technically or mechanically, I always run him as a highly intelligent creature who's been mutated with like a bunch of reptile DNA. And that process that he underwent unlocked his fire powers that were like dormant in his genes. And so it's a
Mm,
mutation. Um, where did it
yeah.
go? There we go. So yeah, that's Shelburne. And then perfect timing. Ricky's back.
Hi.
Um, yeah, and then I did see Yuri's comment. Um, yeah, so it's funny you say that, your comment about the signature powers. They kind of were a capstone before. They were, you would get your signature power at level 15. Um, or no, I think originally it was 15 and then we brought it down to 10, I think.
Yeah.
And then
Yeah, we
you
did.
had ultimate powers at level 20, and we've now scrapped the signature and ultimate like that, and now you create your own custom signature power, which, like Ricky said, you get access to at level 6.
Yeah.
So,
And it's just so much more fun that way. You get more access to it. faster, and you really get to own your super. By literally saying like, "Hey, this is my signature thing that I do, and I've tweaked it by this much. I've trained on this much, that much." And you keep on adding to it even more. And it's not a resource you blow out like every single combat, every single like
Turn.
turn of
Yeah.
combat. Yeah, it's something you got to plan and strategize. Like, okay, let me weaken them. Let me add additional ways of me gaining dominance on this hit, so I'm very successful with that move.
Yeah,
So.
it costs you 3 AP action points, and it costs a lot of
hmm
drive. So
hmm
it's not something you just willy-nilly use constantly, just like Ricky just said.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So.
So I think yeah, for powers, I guess we didn't quite lock on one. I think Duelist Focus sounds like a good one. Depends
Yeah, do that
though.
one.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, it really depends. Like I said, there's literally it's not gonna fit. Yeah. Yeah, that's something we'll have to try to fix is the power names fitting.
Yeah. If there are graphic designers on the stream, hit us up. Mostly because we can like quickly get some ideas here on how to make this character sheet a little bit faster, better. We
Yeah,
eventually will invest in a digital character sheet, so that way you could just go
that's the
onto a
goal.
website and have it loaded and all that. So, but for now, the PDF and printout of this, we're trying to make it as streamlined as possible. So.
Yep.
Nice. I think that's everything for him. You got
Yeah,
your
it
power
would be.
selected.
I think maybe we can just look at a planned talent, like what talent would fit for him.
Yeah.
But other than
Yes.
that, yeah, he would be done at level 1 right now. This would be
hmm
completed level 1 character. Obviously, we've been sidetracked a lot and like talking about a lot of different stuff, but like that process, because we selected everything after just a few minutes, honestly. And so the process of creating a character is actually quite quick and easy, even though we've made it look like it takes a
yeah.
long time here.
It really, actually, we started like 30 minutes ago, so it's not too
Really?
bad.
Oh,
Yeah.
I thought we started like at 12:15. Well, 12:15 my time, but
Yeah. But yeah, I mean, when you talk about it, and you like think about the story and where their powers origin came from, and how they use their powers, that's the stuff that adds like a lot of fun to it, a lot of fun flavor to it, things that make you want to pick that character back up again, So,
hmm
and that's what we love about our game.
yeah, absolutely. Yeah, and then Yuri made another comment that I want to talk about
Yeah.
of the good role-playing system. So I appreciate the compliments on the good mechanical system. But something a lot of
Yeah.
people don't see right away is the role playing outside of combat. That is really customizable and gives you a lot of character concepts. We were talking earlier about um, the origin and how that interacts with like the type of like the actual superheroes you can make, where they're very unique. Like the character concept we made here, he's a Velican and he can produce light from his body, and then he got a mutation that allows him to turn that into um, like hard light. And
Yeah.
so like that's a really unique concept. And so he creates weapons out of that. And versus like a very stereotypical like weapon master would just use like swords, and bow and arrow or guns, bats, like tons of things like that. Whereas like this character doesn't use any of those, and he's still mechanically a weapon master, but thematically he's very different. And so there's a lot
Mhm.
there. And then also outside of combat, outside of combat, um, there's just so much room for creativity. So we've taken a few approaches, like as we had done playtesting, where we tried to give some more like prescriptive or discrete abilities that your power set could do outside of combat. So like fire, for example, we tried to set it up where you can create a certain, it's a preset size of light around yourself, and you can light on fire specific like durability of objects. And as you level up,
Yeah.
those both would get better. And we just found that was like way too restrictive and boring because we we can't think of everything you or other people can think of how to use their powers. Like there have been some really creative uses of like electricity and fire, and there's no way we're going to fit all of that into like even a single page of how to describe the ways you can use electricity, outside of combat. And so in combat, you've
Exactly.
got these powers that are very specific and defined. And then outside of combat, you use your powers in much less defined, creative ways. So, like some examples, I mean, gadgetry, you could use a grappling hook to, swing across something, or you could use like an explosive to blow it up and like knock something down. Ice, you could create like an ice wall to block something from collapsing or like, you know, running over somebody. Or you could create a ice bridge that lets you get across a gap, like all these things. And so there are so many character concepts and ways to use your powers outside of combat that there are a lot of free form and character concepts are just like nearly unlimited. Like there's so many people, every time a new person describes a character idea they have, I'm just like, oh, I had never would have thought about that. And that's
Never would
so
have thought of
cool.
it. Yeah.
And so, we've been doing this for years, like creating this game, and we've thought about a bunch of character concepts, but we haven't thought of even close to all of them. And people just show that to us every time when they make a character concept.
Hmm. Yeah, you're for your last one there, putting the examples per power. We did actually put a paragraph in front of every single power set that's like examples of how to use it outside of combat. So it's again like building that earth bridge, bringing down a tower to make a bridge out of, something that was falling down. I actually did that at Zarek's game when I first like met him. I used again Black Arrow. He shot a tower and he collapsed it, and that made a perfect bridge for me and friends to walk across. Right. So
Mhm.
it's just different things that you could do, so that way you can actually, use your powers outside. There's skill checks. One a big major one's called infusion. So the infusion skill check is using your power to do something,
Mhm.
and that's usually called upon for, hey, I want to melt this door. Okay, give me an infusion check on that, right? To see how well you can melt that door,
Yeah.
with your firepower. So just
Yeah.
as an example.
Yep. So to answer your question, there are no powers that are for non-combat. It is free form. And then, yeah, we have examples that we give, and the SIC will have even more space and
Yes.
text
Yeah.
dedicated to that. We put as much as we could in the primer, but it's limited for space. And as you could tell, we already have a lot in there, 196 pages. So we have that section for every power set, and it's going to get even bigger for the SIC.
Hmm.
So, yeah.
Well,
I think,
cool. It looks like our DJ, our Mastrobe, is all built out. Oh well, I guess you want to. You're on the talents right now, actually.
yeah, maybe we just
Yeah.
choose we could even just look at all 6 of the options here and choose them as like what we would pick ahead of time, just because it can be
Hmm.
kind of fun.
And once again, talents, every other level, every even level, you get one new talent that you get to select, out of 3.
Yeah.
And they are meant to really help you in building your super even further, really customizing a lot of different things. Your inherent effects, often the talents will completely modify your inherent effect of your power. And they are back to the combination of the power set and the actual archetype. though they have unique talents between them. So you don't have the same talent for every single guardian of every single weapon mastery,
Right.
or rather every power set. They're different amongst them. So
Yep.
yeah,
Like you can see here, there's Weapon Mastery Guardian. All these talents are different from all of these talents for Super Strength Guardian. And on the other side of the coin, Super Strength Guardian is also different from Super Strength Blaster.
yeah,
If we go up like Super Strength Bruiser, right here, it's different. They're all unique. And
yep.
so, and one other caveat people will ask is, can you take multiple from the same tier? And the answer is no. Rules as written, it's always you get to select one talent from the tier that's half of your level. So at level 2, you pick one of the tier 1 talents. At level 4, you pick one of the tier 2 talents. You cannot go back and pick another tier 1 talent. And there's a few reasons for that. One is the talents, the way we design them, every tier is widening your scope of power rather than stacking it up. I mean, they do increase your power, but it's more so in making you better at more things or giving you more options rather than stacking up one thing. So like for example, if we took multiple of the tier 1 talents, all we're focusing on is stacking up combo points, whereas these talents, they give you a reaction that you can use when you're hit by a ranged attack. These don't use your reaction, but it's still something that like happens in response to a ranged attack. Um,
Hmm.
and so we wouldn't want you to get all three of these as well, because then you're just kind of waiting around you spent all your talents on waiting around to get hit by a ranged attack potentially. And
Yeah.
the Guardian can taunt and make that happen, but that's the thing. You have to be hit. So,
Yeah.
um, yeah. So I think for this character, um, the first two are having maximum combo points, which holding on to them can be good because you don't necessarily just want to like immediately hit 5 and spend them necessarily. Um, and then the last one, rallying blows, is when you use your finishing blow. So I mean, it kind of fits to have combo and vulnerability for this character like that. He's in the fight, and so he's just like hard to beat now. He's very durable. Um, but if we really want to be like a true guardian, rallying blows is always a really good choice too. Um,
Yep.
yeah, I mean, honestly, like I could make an argument for this character to have any one of those three talents. So
It's almost like it's specialized for it, you know?
yes, and it's a
Yeah,
meaningful choice. That's another reason why
yeah,
you only get to pick
yeah,
one. You have to make a choice.
yeah. I think the combo superiority makes more sense for me.
Yeah.
Because it's passive, I don't have to think through it too much.
Hmm.
But they would stack up their combo points, and then once they're there, they can decide, okay, am I going to do final blow, or do I keep this attack mod and maybe do something else that's going to cause a status effect on them? You
Yeah.
know,
Yeah. Yeah.
that's the way I kind of think about it.
Yeah. That's a good choice. Like I
Yeah,
said, any of these are a good choice, so I'm cool with it.
yeah.
And then on this one, I kind of like thematically for this character, I fear no one.
Hmm.
This one lets you move and gain damage reduction. They're over here helps your allies. And then your next is just more combo points. So maybe since we want to be at maximum combo points, your next could also be a really good choice because it's
Yeah,
extra combo points.
yeah.
Um,
I'd say your next would make sense.
yeah.
I Fear No One, that was a fun one when we wrote that.
Hmm.
But it makes sense if you're like trying to pursue enemies that are constantly running from you,
Yeah.
you know? So, especially if they're ranged attack. So, but yeah, I would say you're
Yeah.
next just to activate my combo superiority faster.
Yeah. Let me uh, let me save this. And yeah, I mean with
Nice.
that pretty much puts us. I think well our backer train has ended a couple times now. So
It'll pick it'll pick back up. We got
Oh,
those
yeah.
ads out there, and
Absolutely.
got
Yeah,
our
I need to go watch all
videos.
those videos.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. Oh, we just got somebody right as I said it. So there we go. There's 84, and we
Nice.
are. Um, let's
Great.
trying to see our percentage. We're 27% funded. So, and
Did
that's
you
3 hours.
saw us? Yeah, 3 hours. You
Mhm.
saw us on the Backerkit homepage?
Yeah, if you go to the BackerKit homepage, hottest projects right now. You scroll to the side, we're like the eighth. Oh, we moved. We're down, I think.
Oh,
We
okay.
moved down. 1, 2, 3, 4,
Nice. I
5,
do see us.
6, 7, 8,
Nice.
9. So we're now we're number 10. We were number 8 for a bit.
Yeah, yeah.
So
Cool. Awesome. I didn't see us there before. That's awesome.
yeah.
I love that like they promote, like just different folks there, right? Like,
Yeah, yeah.
we just got started and so on, and they're putting us out there. So it's so good.
Yeah, and you can see like it's not just about the one with the most money, because like
Hmm.
it's not in order of the most money or the most backers. you know.
Yeah.
So it's kind of cool. Like some of these smaller projects, there's several other smaller projects on here too. So
Hmm.
it's awesome.
Fire.
That's what I like about BackerKit. We changed from Kickstarter to BackerKit for stuff like that. BackerKit does a lot
Yeah,
more things like that to help the smaller creators and such. So
that's true. Awesome, awesome.
yeah.
Well, cool. Well, thank you,
Oh yeah, we're not
Pio.
backing our own project, huh? I guess we'll have to do that. I didn't think to do that, to be honest.
I actually am going to. I'm gonna
Yeah,
back with
Heather,
the
my wife, just
co-authors.
backed it earlier, so
Oh, that's funny.
yeah,
That's great. Got to back your own thing. No,
yeah.
totally.
We could have kept the backer train going longer if we timed it, maybe.
Darn it.
That's okay.
But awesome. Yeah, thank you
Uh,
guys so much for making it a very
oh,
successful stream.
yeah, absolutely. Before we hop off here, just wanted to, oh, I scroll. Yeah, there we go. Just wanted to answer Yuri's last question here. How is aim combat drive regen handled? Are you expected to trigger your regen every round? So you're not expected to trigger your regen every round. Um, we kind of have it. We have a like average success chance for things on the back end. So roughly um, for Bruiser, Guardian, and Hunter, because those are the ones that are not like de facto, they happen this time. Like the Arbiter, they can trigger it whenever they want, once per round. So they're going to. They get to just reduce the cost of one power by half of their recovery value. And then blasters, after the first round happens, they start building up drive fast. And they also start always with only their recovery value and drive every combat. So like if you're at
Mhm.
higher levels, your your recovery value will be like 4, and your max might be like 12. And so a blaster will start with only 4, whereas everybody else will, well, as long as it's the first combat in the day, they will have 4 or 12, sorry. And so then the Bruiser, Guardian, and Hunter, they're expected to maintain theirs roughly 70% of the time, like 60 to 70% of the time theirs should trigger. Guardians have a couple ways to guarantee that they get theirs every round, though. So, because it's giving an ally a buff, so they've got their archetype ability that does that, and then there are powers that do that, so you can guarantee that you give a buff. But that might spend more drive than it recovers, but still helps you last longer. And then like the Bruiser, they need to get hit or hit somebody with a melee attack. And so, if that doesn't happen, because there's a chance like if nobody attacks you in a round and you attack once and you miss, then you didn't trigger yours. And then, some rounds you might get hit multiple times or something. So um, it's variable, but it's kind of roughly supposed to be about around that range.
Yeah, I just want you to basically that if you play into your role, you get more energy to do even more in your role.
Mhm.
So
Yeah.
it's like just rewarding for that, as opposed to before it was just here's your actions. We didn't have it set up as this cool drive. It was a while ago that we changed over to a full drive mechanic.
Yeah,
Um,
yeah.
but yeah,
But
before then it was just you had this available during your turn, and you couldn't really like gain anything back from it or do anything special from it from playing in your role, playing in your strengths, right? So
mhm.
yeah, but
Yeah, it
yeah, that's
used to
the
be like spell levels from D&D 5e pretty much,
yeah,
but it
exactly.
was more like fourth edition where you had encounter powers and day per day powers. That's like some of your
Yeah,
tiers were per encounter limits, and then others were per day. So
yeah.
yeah, the the addition of drive and the recovery of drive was like a massive. It's played a massive role in changing the game for the better, to where it really incentivizes you to play in your role, which
Mhm.
doesn't mean you have to necessarily. Like you could play a bruiser with the light energy power set, and you could be a bruiser that's kind of supportive, but if you're putting yourself in harm's way, you're still going to get attacked and therefore hurt, and then you're going to recover drive. Um, and if you wanted to just stay in the back row and heal, you shouldn't be playing a bruiser. You should be playing
Right.
like a blaster or arbiter and with heal powers like light energy, or play an arbiter with any power set. So
Agreed.
yeah. And as you can see, I could ramble on and on about pretty much anything.
We are excited on the mechanics, okay?
Oh yeah. Yes, we
That's
love
okay.
them. Absolutely.
Yeah,
Yeah, and
love
I'll
talking
always
about it.
say thank you to Ricky for the dominance and weakness, because I was like, no, let's just stick with advantage and disadvantage. And he was like, no, I want to change it. And then we did. And it's been awesome.
No,
But
you're
he's like,
not doing that.
yeah, drive
I'm in
and
violent disagreement with you.
yeah, drive and dominance and weakness are like our two biggest. I think those are
Yeah,
like our best, biggest, and most unique mechanics. What really
yeah,
sets the game apart. So
exactly.
yeah, and thank you very much, Yuri. I appreciate it, and I'm glad we could answer your questions. Um, and yeah, yeah, I agree. I love like that ebb and flow kind of resource management where it's not just attrition, but it's like how you manage it, but you can build it back up if you play things right.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, Yuri. It didn't even work like advantage and disadvantage. Or sorry, it did work like advantage and disadvantage before, where it was just you add a d20 and keep the
Hmm.
highest. It did stack, so like you could have triple advantage and you could roll four d20s and keep the highest. But Ricky was like, no, I don't want it to just be roll extra d20s.
Yeah.
Um, and so yes, since we changed what it does, we changed the name also, and then dominance, we kind of took that from the name of the game.
Hmm.
Um, even though
Name
the
of the
name of the game
game.
is not a real word, it has no meaning, but
Yeah.
it just, dominant is in there, so it had us thinking about dominance, and yeah, that's where
Yeah.
we got.
Yep. Yep. Yep.
Yeah, yeah. I think Ricky's focus was the name change, I think, but he also just wanted to change it. It was funny. And I was like, nah, I
Yeah.
like advantage, disadvantage. I was like, we don't need to change it.
I,
And
I think
then, yeah,
too, because there was a certain point, Zarek, right, that we were constantly like, are we changing something for the sake of being different versus the sake of actually being something that's like we love, you know?
yes,
Because
yeah,
there's they're sticking with what we know, which is advantage and disadvantage, versus wait, we can do something that we love, we can actually enjoy for our game, that makes sense for our game too. It wasn't
hmm,
just random that you
right,
can get stacks of dominance. No, well, we are a team-based superhero tabletop role-playing game. So being a team, you work to gain dominance, right?
hmm,
Or the threats will work to put weakness on you and do the opposite and hurt you bad.
right, right, exactly. And
So
that's
yeah,
why dominance and weakness is like such a really big mechanic in our system, is
yeah,
what Ricky just said. It takes teamwork to build up dominance and like get multiple stacks of dominance. and you are a superhero team, and so it really fits and supports that kind of gameplay and feel where
Yeah.
sorry, my throat's getting dry, where you work together as a team. And so
Yeah.
it incentivizes and rewards that kind of gameplay. And so we didn't just change it just to be different. We were like, if we were changing it, which was like a big point for me, I was like, if we're changing it, we need a reason to change it. That's not make it different to be different. Like it needs to
Exactly.
facilitate what we want in the game, and it does. Like, yeah, people rave about it. They love like when people play, they're constantly trying to get dominance, and we love that. Like to us, that is a great sign that that system is amazing, and people will scheme and plan together like, oh, I can do this and it'll get you dominance, and you do that and it'll add another one, and then now you've got like 3 dominance,
Yeah.
you know.
I'm
So
gonna
it's
I'm gonna I'm gonna I'm gonna flank him, and I'll gain another thing, and then yeah, it's great.
yeah,
Awesome,
yep, and
awesome,
it's
man.
very super heroic, which is exactly what we were looking for. So yep. Absolutely. Well, my voice is starting to go out here. I've
I
been
was gonna
rambling and
say.
talking so much that my voice is getting dry and I don't have any more water on me. So, yeah, with that, we thank everybody that's been watching and listening. We know there's been quite a few folks that were just listening because they're at work. We appreciate it, and we absolutely appreciate all of the support that we've gotten. So,
Yes.
yeah,
Yep. Tell your friends. Share it out anywhere. But I can't thank you enough, everybody, for making a dream really come true here. It's been a long time running. We're finally out here. We're making it happen. So yeah,
yeah,
super excited.
yeah. Okay. Thank you, everybody. Have a good day and a good week.
See you guys.